You're watching Fanboy Versus with your hosts, JD Church, Nicole Hale, Chris Triplett, and Chris McFeely.
And you are watching Fanboy Versus. I am your host, JD, joined by Chris Triplett, Chris McFeely, and Nicole. Welcome, whole crew! Yay!
Yay!
So, it is Fanboy Versus 68. Fanboy Versus yet another empty week. Not empty, but, 5-week month. We're at the end. It's, DC's wrapping everything up. I don't know.
God, if this week is slow, then what's next week? Next week?
Yeah, DC's
Pretty sad.
Deuce. Two titles.
I think I'm getting like Justice League, Flashpoint, and I think Amazing Spider-Man. That is it for next week.
I got like 9 or 10 books next week, so I'm good.
I'm not sure. Because my comic book place is shutting down as of Wednesday. So
No,
I know, isn't that sad?
Wow.
So now I've got
another victim.
Yeah.
yeah. So I need to go and find another place to go get my pull list. So
God,
That's horrible.
my time, I think I've seen 6 shops that I go to close.
Wow.
My time collecting comics total.
Actually, I've only seen one.
was it one that you worked at?
No.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
There was one, and then there was another store that took over after them, but for whom comics were never their primary revenue, so eventually they stopped doing comics, but the store's still open, and then the current one, which I work at.
Yeah, thankfully the shop that I buy comics from has been there for 30 years or something. I mean,
It means nothing in this economy.
well, it's also they're one of only 2 shops in town, so. And for Oklahoma City,
I'm the only shop in my town.
well, I
There's
mean,
no
Oklahoma
shops
City's
in
a
my
pretty
town.
big city, so.
That's where I am very lucky at, because I have 6 different comic book shops I go to. So my decision is, okay, who do I give my pull list to?
Yeah, see.
Choice is very limited. For
Yeah.
me. I have to go out of town to get my comics.
Yeah, there's really only in the primary metro area, there's only 2. I think there's one in Edmond and one in Norman, which are suburbs of Oklahoma City, but really, New World, that's really the best and only choice. So, anyway, so again, hey, welcome to our new video format. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you like it. Our Twitter names
I like it.
are available there at the bottom as well. So if you'd like to follow us on Twitter, you can see all of our Twitter names. Those will be up for just a minute, and I'll take those down because they're kind of distracting, and I don't really want to have them up there the whole time. So
We could hide behind them.
a little bit, yeah. You can kind of crouch down just a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull those down. Actually, see, magic, video magic. It's amazing. So, ooh, yes, very high tech on this show.
Burn it, call a priest. Burn it.
Yes, burn it with fire.
Are you a wizard?
I am a wizard. I'm an 8th level wizard. I have several scrolls of magic missile, and I can take those out. So, anyway, news stuff. New stuff?
Yeah, I
News?
got some new stuff
Yeah,
for you to hand it over.
that'd be nice if you could give us
All
some
right,
news
well,
stuff.
I don't know exactly what you guys talked about the last week or two, because I've been doing things. But we've had a couple. It's nice. It's always nice whenever the news is actually about comics. So I'll start off with the one bit of news that isn't about comics to get it out of the way, which one we would have talked about last week, I think, but I've kind of lost track of it. Is the little piece of set video that's been leaked from Superman Returns. Not Superman
Man of
Returns.
Steel,
The Man of
right?
Steel.
Yeah, Man of Steel.
I do think it's the Man of Steel.
Don't get him.
You can find out.
Get
You
those
can
mixed
find the
up.
whole week of movie on Superman Returns on
Yeah, I
online.
think that
Yeah,
serious leak they did there, yeah. No trunks.
yeah, no underpants.
Good Lord. Civilization came to an end that day, and we all started over from issue number 1.
So
Yeah.
it's basically the suit that he's got in the relaunch, right? Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
I don't really know if it
So
is or
how-
not.
What kind of looks like it, you know?
Yeah,
Makes
it does.
Makes me think, how far in advance was that suit designed? Like,
I'm more interested in what the mocap thing
Yeah.
next to the
that implies it's
Kryptonian.
non-human.
Yeah, so I'm like, what's that?
That's interesting.
I
I
know.
am officially interested.
Yeah, I don't give a crap about what Superman's wearing. I want to know what the monster thing is next
Are
to
you
him.
talking about
Unless it's
Zod
me.
or something?
No, well,
Unless
there's in the
means they've seen Zod, yeah.
yeah, I mean in the
There's
scene
something
there's a
Zod,
female.
Like, wearing, like a green screen suit. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I don't think that's Zod, is it? All they said is that I mean the female is the female Kryptonian, but there's another thing there that's in a motion capture suit, and I assume that's not Zod.
You would assume, but you couldn't be unless they've CG'd Non or something to give him that level of bulk.
Awesome CG. No.
No, that-
Like the
I tell you-
Incredible Hulk from Ainley's Hulk. That would
God.
be awesome.
No,
Giant
it's Doomsday
green-
is what it is. It's Doomsday. See,
Tall guy that moved like a little Chinese guy.
No, the only like green screen CG work I want to see is freaking Brainiac. Do it now. You know.
no, we're not that
Tell
lucky.
you, I'm a lot less as intriguing as that is. We also had the teaser summary of that released. You know, the one sheet like summary of the film, and it does seem to be the origin.
Yeah, we talked about it
Oh,
last
yeah,
week.
we did
I-
mention
yeah.
that.
I read it off and I said, yeah, it kind of sounds like we're getting Smallville in a movie. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it meant I could forget about Smallville, you know.
10 seasons of that, and we're gonna get a movie of it. Fantastic.
Yay.
You know?
But
Anyway, let's not dwell on it.
no, but
Make news. There's real news also.
Okay.
Better news.
real news.
Cheerful, good and happy news that about real comics and things. Okay, so new DC news. James Robinson, Nicholas Scott, Justice Society.
Really?
Yay.
Yes.
So I
When?
was right. They are bringing it back.
Where?
Let me just see. I'm just reading. They will be back. They're not. We can confirm they'll be back. As with everything, there is a twist. What is it? We're not saying just yet. We're not saying. The work.
They were always dead. That's the twist.
I believe that the word has come through from James Robinson and Nicholas. James Robinson and Nicholas Scott were rumored to be working on this for a while. Well, I say a while, a month or whatever. The rumor that's come out in the last week, I don't know if it's a rumor, if it's some confirmed information they've given out at Fan Expo Canada, which has just gone on this weekend, is that it may be set on Earth 2.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
So will we see team ups like where they cross over from the universes and it's like, hey, now we're on Earth 2 and we'll team up with the Justice League. You know?
sure. Remember all that? Remember 1960? Remember the 60s? Remember how great that was when you had like multiple Earths and all that
I want
stuff?
to see the two Flashes like running on opposite walls again. I want to see that. You know?
Remember how great that was? We're gonna do that
Or
again.
they felt it necessary to have a crossover to get rid of that because it was deemed confusing.
Yeah. So basically, what?
I'm not gonna throw that one out. We'll just wait and see what happens with that one.
Okay. So possibly we're undoing everything that we did. Okay. That's good.
Okay, well, some more news.
Okay.
From the Marvel side of things. Alpha Flight is now an ongoing.
Yay!
Thumbs up. Woo!
Good stuff. Good stuff. Also, did we know Taskmaster in issue 5?
Ha 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 ha.
I knew that purely from last month's solicitation.
Yeah.
So we hadn't mentioned it on here. That's something that's happening in Alpha Flight as well. And that's Van Lente, remember, who did the miniseries.
Right.
Is he
I
doing
mean,
the
it's not-
ongoing too?
Yeah,
Yes.
it seems
Alpha
like it's
Flight?
not. It's unbelievably, it's not going to issue 8 and resetting. It seems like issue 8 will be followed by issue 9.
That's crazy. Really?
Awesome.
Outrageous.
I don't understand. It's the thing. It's like
What? Like it's
like-
number one every month. I thought
DC goes everything back to 1 and it's the apocalypse, the sky is falling, everyone's dying. Marvel, like, they're like, it's gotten to 12 issues. Let's go ahead and reset it back to 1.
I want to see somebody actually like skip a couple of numbers and actually jump to like 20 or something just to screw with people's minds.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, this issue's been published for like.
Oh, there's your next Marvel gimmick.
Image actually did that with Chew.
Yeah, as I remember that. It was like images of tomorrow or something. Is that what it was called?
I don't know what it was. They just
He
jumped
jumped
to
ahead
issue
like a year.
27.
Yeah, well, didn't they do that with Booster too? Wasn't there like an issue, like
I
like
think you're thinking of 1 million.
or 1 million or whatever? Yeah.
Well, that was the DC
Image
thing
jumped
from-
like ahead by like a year to like issue 25, I think, for everything. And some of those books got canceled before they got to issue 25 to get caught up. It was awesome.
Well, I know with Chew, it jumped to issue 27, and the idea was that it was just going when you reached issue 26, like issue 27 would chronologically just fit into where it was. You know, it was
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
way it
right.
was well, you never know. What else this weekend? Here's one I'm looking forward to. It's just been announced today. The Destroyers. There's a new miniseries that's been announced from Marvel, also being written by Fred Van Lente and drawn by Kyle Hott. It's going to be a monster team-up miniseries starring, A-Bomb and She-Hulk, principally, because they were decided for this, because now that Incredible Hulks is ending, they're going to be left without a comic. So them, along with The Thing, The Beast, and Carcass from the Eternals.
Okay.
And the poster image also shows Devil Dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
They're all
Is it-
writing Devil Dinosaur, right?
Unfortunately not, but I can only assume that will happen at some point in the course of this mini. And I am already buying this. You may consider the money left from my wallet. Fred Van Lente and Kyle Hott's drawing it. I love Kyle Hotz. Kyle Hotz recently drew the Infestation Ghostbusters tie-in. I like Kyle Hotz an awful lot, and Fred Van Lente writing it, and it's got Devil Dinosaur in it, and She-Hulk's in it. There's nothing about this that sounds bad in any way.
This
Marvel's had a
definitely
bit of-
interests me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But,
Marvel's had
like
a
you
bit
said,
of a fixation.
Infestation Ghostbusters, that was awesome.
Marvel's
Yeah.
had a bit of a fixation on its monsters lately with the Fearsome
Monsters.
Four tie-in miniseries from Fear itself, and there's a new miniseries starting in October called Legion of Monsters with Elsa Bloodstone and Morbius and the Werewolf and things like that. I'm looking forward to that a lot as well. So yeah, that's something else. And I think that's about the most of the main. Word is that the Runaways will also be returning in the pages of Dick Hen later this year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's cool. I don't know if I want to buy a Daniel Way book to read about them, but well, we'll see.
Runaways was what? Vaughn? Is that who did it?
Yeah. Vaughn did it originally and did it all
Yeah.
the way through. Then Joss Whedon did it for Tradesworth, and then Tony Moore did it for about a year, and then Catherine Immerman did a couple of issues, and then it was never like officially cancelled. It was put on hiatus and never came back. Now they talk about it like it was cancelled, which was a sick, sad loss to the world. It was being drawn by Sarah Pichelli at the time, who is, of course, doing Ultimate Spider-Man now.
Right.
Cool.
And, I just remember another one as well, is Fantastic Four. I don't know if you guys talked about this last week. Fantastic Four is, completely unsurprisingly, coming back this November. Issue number 600, as we fully expected.
Yep.
12
Wow.
issues.
Right on schedule.
12 issues of FF later, and it's on to issue 600. But the word is that in an Incredible Hulk style, FF will also continue.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
I hope it's starring Doctor Doom.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
book, yeah. Just make it like mystery where like the main team goes back to their own book and
Yeah.
Doom takes
the
the future
villain
of
gets the spin-off book or something like
Yeah.
that. I can get
It
behind
basically becomes like Villains United but for Marvel. That would be awesome.
that. Well, there's some word that Heroes for Hire is going to turn into Villains for Hire sometime soon, so something like that might be happening on that front too. But yeah, I am all about that, and will of course be. And Hickman's supposed to be writing both as well, so God knows how he'll manage it with all the other things he has on his plate at the moment. But the guy seems to be a bit of a machine lately, so him and Nick Spencer are really churning everything out. Funnily enough, I'll be talking about books by Hickman and Spencer later in the show as well.
And did I hear like the sales numbers out of DC? Number 1 is Justice League, and number 2 is
well, it'll easily be the number one book of the month. It's gone to over 200,000 copies.
yeah.
Which hasn't happened in quite some time. Doesn't sound very impressive, really, when you say it, but it is. given that most books barely beat 100,000 these years.
And-
That's where it's at, and 6 other titles have exceeded 100,000.
And I think the number.
I figured that more of them would have, and I would firmly bet that Action Comics, Batman, Green Lantern, those 3 at least will be the 6. Couldn't say offhand what I think the other ones will be.
I think the number 2 book is Batgirl.
Is it Batgirl? Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. I'm excited for that one.
Not knocking it, but it seems unlikely to me. I could see it being one of the 6, but maybe it is. I don't know.
No, I think Gail was retweeting several, even from Jim Lee, saying that the number 2 was
Damn, well,
Batgirl.
yes.
So,
Controversy sales.
yeah. Well, and Gail Simone
I'm
sells.
just looking at the list
So-
again. Just like, I don't know if I'm interested in all these just to see what they do with them, but there's no way I could afford this.
Yeah, I don't know how. I certainly bow to the people that like are dropping the money to get every single
That's a-
52 title. It's
At least that's almost around $200 worth of comic books.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think you
That's
can bet that sum of money that they'll not be back for all 52 in the subsequent month.
No, and that's why it's kind of like I got a nice
You know,
little.
one of the most fun things is the kind of who had iVampire in the pool for first cancellation. January 2012.
Right. Have like a Deadpool
Man.
for that comic, just like
I really hope Grifter succeeds. I'm banking on Grifter.
it's. I mean, like you said, it's like that's the same guy that was writing the Who is Jake Ellis. So I don't know.
But it's
Yeah.
grifter.
I know.
Doesn't
You know.
cancel itself out. That is not a case where Who is Jake Ellis was unknown, so it had a chance. People look at Grifter and go, what?
Is Grifter?
Yeah. I think if we were going to do a bottom 6, I would have to believe it's Grifter, Voodoo, let's see, Blackhawks,
Yeah.
iVampire.
Yeah.
Gets a little wobbly after that.
Yeah.
Because Batwing springs to mind, but as a Bat book,
Hawkman.
no,
Hawkman's
it's not.
probably bottom, I think.
no, I wouldn't say so.
I'm not looking forward to that. Man.
Maybe Resurrection Man, maybe.
Yeah.
It's kind of out of
Or-
left field.
Mm.
Man at War, maybe. Yeah. Well, we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
I
but
mean,
there's
that's
a lot
just
of good
level
stuff. I
up
mean,
stuff.
for the ones that we're dogging, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there
That-
too. I think.
That's
so.
not meant to focus on. We're just ripping on it.
Yeah, we're just ripping on poor defenseless comics that haven't found
Yeah.
an audience, haven't even come out yet.
Yeah.
Jeez. So yeah, that's all stuff that happened.
This would be like the best time to buy stock in DC because it's going to go up in the month of September at least. So and you get
yeah.
out in
Really
October.
think you can guarantee that.
Oh, I did something that we mentioned last week, but I wanted to get your impact on. Chris, was the Disney boom cancellation. Bye boom. And apparently everything is going Marvel now, so maybe you get Disney comics in the UK, eh?
Well, I have no strong feelings about the actual end of the thing because that was an inevitability. It's not like I'm not. There's no reason to cry about it or anything because that was just. It was always going to happen. As soon as the license expired, Disney wasn't going to farm out properties to another comic company when they own a comic company now.
Right.
The question will be whether or not Marvel gets the thumb out and actually gets the creative teams and does something with these properties and carries on like Darkwing Duck or whatever.
I hope
because
they get the creative teams because I wanted to buy Darkwing Duck, but my comic shop never did, get it in that much.
Well, and
they've made no motions towards actually continuing anything because they have the Pixar stuff now and they have the Muppet Show. And they've made no signs of continuing them yet. They've just been publishing the magazine format things like the Muppet book I reviewed a few weeks ago, which collect the Boom Studio stuff. So it may mean that at least they'll reprint Darkwing Duck. I mean, I would rather have it in a nice little trade, but Darkwing Duck actually, I don't know about DuckTales, but I know Darkwing offhand was moving in 4-issue arcs. So those will make for just like those 4-issue large format magazines collecting the whole thing, But one would hope that after they get through all that, they'll start doing some new stuff. I'm just looking back over Gail Simone's tweets there to see if I can validate what you were saying. I think there's somebody tweeted her to let her know. A retailer tweeted Gail to let her know Justice League was their #1 book, with Batgirl being their #2.
I gotcha. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could still see it being in the top 10.
Easy. Yeah.
That's potentially one of the top 6 as well.
I think people are very interested of how they're going to rewrite Batgirl. I think
Yeah.
that's
Controversial.
why. Yeah, it's very controversial. So.
Yeah, I don't think it would, but controversy without dread behind it, because it's Gail Simone.
Yeah.
That makes it easy. I'm like, it's like, people's eyes are on it because of what's happened, but I'm not picking it up to see how bad it is or something like that. It's like, it's this genuine curiosity in how a proven writer is going to do it,
Mm-hmm.
I think unless something's really screwed up, it may be my favorite book of the relaunch. Honestly, if it's good, if it's really good.
If it's good,
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and that's the thing is, and that maybe that's why I really commend like the people that are buying all 52 titles, because you gotta give it to them. They're giving them all a chance, right?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I can't afford to give them all a chance. So,
If my work was nice enough to give me a raise or a bonus, I'd do it. But
hey, they're nice enough to give you a
If
job
I
at this
was-
point. So,
if I was just buying DC, if I just bought DC, I might do it, because I get I get like maybe within a dozen comics of that a month anyway. But Marvel, so no.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, with that. and then-
I don't remember. Are all the DC books, are they going to be $2.99 or are they going to $3.99? I don't remember.
They are all $2.99 except for
Justice League, maybe?
Justice League, Action, and Men at War, and All-Star Western.
Okay. Well, that's not bad.
And that's and everything that's $3.99 is 30 pages as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
You get more to pay. Oh,
so
and
one-
one other bit of news as well. It's Jack Kirby's birthday.
thank you. That's what I was just
Yay.
about to say. Very good, sir. So, yeah, happy birthday.
Would have been his 94th birthday.
That would be awesome.
So, hooray for that.
There you go. Think about Jack Kirby. Maybe read something that
Read a Jack
he either
Kirby.
wrote or drew. There you go.
A little
Chances
bit
are
of,
you have.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Something like that.
Oh wow.
So, I guess we'll review some comics then.
I guess so.
It's that time.
Oh.
So, Triplet?
Some comic books, you say?
Yeah. What have
Okay.
you
Oh,
read,
I've never
sir?
heard of such a thing. Oh, my leg is so asleep, guys.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
bad.
Kidding.
Stand up,
Sorry,
stand up,
get it.
do a dance. Help fix it.
Hit it.
Show us some skin. Come on.
Oh, I see Barricade64 has just pointed out in the chat that it's also Power Rangers' birthday today.
Oh, good.
Really?
Yeah, well, that's
That's
yeah,
nice.
Jack
Until
Kirby's
the,
Day, that's Power Rangers.
And
birthday.
it's Read Comics in Public
something
Day
about
as well, isn't it? So,
I thought that was
Yeah,
yesterday. I
not
thought
a
it was
deliberate thing.
yesterday.
Gosh, has everything got a day today? Is
I-
this like
this is
is this
Uber
like
Day.
Chris reviews Daredevil Day also? Can I make it that official also?
yes, it's officially
Yeah.
you review Daredevil Day.
The
It's
28th of each month.
Nick Keeley has his late fallen asleep day. There you go.
Right.
Okay. So we missed Daredevil last week. It's my fault because I didn't get my comics last week, but we got them this week. And Daredevil #2 came out, and it's good. I like it.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's spoilers if you didn't read Daredevil #1. Look, Captain America's in
Yeah.
it. All
Yeah.
right.
It's right there on the cover.
It's right there on the cover. As if you didn't know, because the shield he was throwing at him at the end of the last issue, which was awesome.
Yeah, well, we didn't tell them that at the time.
No, we
No.
didn't mention that.
But did any of you guys read Daredevil?
Hell yeah. Hail to
You-
the yes.
Hell to the yes. JD, are you getting Daredevil?
No, I didn't end up continuing on with the Daredevil.
What is
Come on.
wrong with you?
I have a
Dude,
limited
it's Mark
budget.
Waid.
I can't buy
It's Mark
everything.
Waid, it's Daredevil. It's
Something else, man.
it's $2.99 for God's sake. Drop
$2.99.
one of those $3.99 books and get this.
$3.99.
I mean, I'm gonna have to do something with my pull list in the next month because of all the DC titles I'm adding onto it. But 2 issues in, Daredevil is going no place.
Yep.
You know, it's
You mean no place, as in like you're not getting rid of it, not the actual story. It's going.
Daredevil
Right.
is going nowhere. It's staying. It is not going anywhere.
It's going on the staying.
Yes, it is on the stay part of the list, but it's only a list, so it doesn't physically go anywhere.
Right.
But
Just
it's
just review something.
So like Captain America like shows up and he's like having a big old fight with Daredevil at the beginning of this issue.
Could this be because Captain America has a movie out? Not joking.
Possibly, I don't know.
Hey, did you guys talk, Cap, by the way, while we weren't here?
No, JD has
never- You haven't seen it yet?
It's a crime.
I haven't even hardly left my house in like 2 weeks.
Wait, you what?
My body systematically been falling apart from my feet up this week.
I know you've had problems as well.
To the apes this week.
I've had a like staph infection for 2 weeks. What do you want
Dude,
from me?
I even saw Captain America twice. I saw it twice, JD. You have no excuse.
And you what? Green Lantern's out at the dollar.
Do you want to see the
now.
pictures? I will pull up the pictures of my leg falling off if you would like to see them.
Oh, I love disgusting photos. Do it. Do it.
I'll DM to you
Daredevil
later.
Number 2 came out, and
Yeah.
hey. Hey, Daredevil number 2 came out, and Captain America's fighting with Daredevil, and you get look at this art. Art's awesome. Yay, art! It's all right.
Stealing. I don't know if he's stealing it or if he's doing it on his own initiative, but he's lifted that little fourth dimensional art trick from Marcos Martin there as well, where you see Daredevil jumping off the building in the same big panel as he's still standing on the building.
I would love to see that throughout the entire series.
You know, actually, that's whenever I tell people about the comic like that, is one of the things I keep bringing up. And just as an aside, orders for Daredevil have more than tripled at the shop since off the back of the first issue.
Wow.
Yeah, so everybody loving Daredevil right now.
So like Cap's trying to take down Daredevil, and I cannot honestly remember why. I mean, do you remember exactly what?
Shadowland happened.
I didn't read Shadowlands. I have no clue.
Oh,
what happened.
Daredevil made some kind of ninja fortress in the middle of New York or something.
He's a ninja.
I read part of it, unfortunately.
Oh crap! I just figured he was just like, well, we need somebody to show up in the second issue that will, sell comics some more. So let's put Cap.
No, Daredevil was kind of a bastard there, and
He was possessed by a demon, and he took over the
Jesus.
took over the hand or something, and built a ninja. He did actually build a ninja fortress. In the
yeah, I
middle of
mean,
New
we're
York.
not shitting. He really,
Yeah.
this enormous ninja fortress in the middle of Hell's Kitchen is just
Wow.
Crazy.
Thanks.
So, yeah, couple to take him into that.
So they're fighting, and Daredevil gets Cap's shield because Cap throws the shield and Daredevil catches it, and I think Daredevil throws his billy club and Cap catches it, and so you've got them,
Yeah.
having different weapons, having a big ass fight, which is pretty awesome actually.
Yeah, and Cap, you see it's easy to miss on the first page, but you see how Cap's shield takes off one of Daredevil's horns, and Daredevil's billy club takes off one of Cap's wings.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I did miss that.
Awesome! Like
That's-
that's the level of precision
Pop.
involved with these fine arts fighters.
Yeah, it says Pock. But yeah, they have a big old fight, and as they're fighting, they're talking, and Daredevil's trying to explain to Cap that got turned into a hand puppet too, or something. I think he's talking about Bucky, because they're talking about how I guess Winter Soldier, when Bucky was being brainwashed and doing all that crazy stuff. It's like, see, you're.
and we lost
Oh no.
audio.
Sorry.
Reconnect. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry. Technical difficulties. I was saying, Daredevil was saying, hey, Bucky got brainwashed, so, hey, I was brainwashed too, so it happens, remember Bucky, your best friend?
People get brainwashed to do crazy stuff, right? I mean, it happens all the time.
he's using it. He believes Cap has sort of is working out his issues with Bucky. Was recently put to trial as well in a recent Captain America storyline. This is pre-death stuff, you know, and you know, he's thinking he's kind of it's kind of brought out some. Cap's sort of working through his issues with it by going out and taking him down.
Yeah. And he basically talks him into kind of letting him have some time to kind of prove his innocence. He says, you know, basically, I think I deserve, you know, to prove to you that, you know, I'm innocent of what happened. And, you know, Cap says, you know, matters tabled but not settled. And then they give their weapons back and, you know, Daredevil goes away, basically. So, yeah, it was a big fight.
He describes touching Cap's shield like touching a Stradivarius.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that was awesome.
Wow.
Really?
Evening, yeah, because he can tell the balance of it, and he can tell how perfect physical object is.
Oh, wow.
Does it play sweet, sweet music that lulls him to sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
It plays the sweet, sweet music of
right.
punching Nazis as well.
Yeah, he
Nice
says that
Music,
Bane is...
nice.
Just imagine the sound it makes as it clangs off of Nazi helmets.
See, you need to go see Captain America because it does do that.
Ting, 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 ting.
Oh, that's gonna be tweeted.
That's the music of America.
Merc.
So the scene shifts, and we're back at Foggy and Matt's law office, where Foggy's, you know, anxiously looking for something. I can't. Again, I read this like the other day, so I don't remember exactly what he's looking for.
His lucky tie.
His lucky tie. That's what it is. And then this district attorney that showed up in the first issue shows up and is kind of helping Foggy out. She actually gives him a peek at the file on the guy that Matt Murdock was defending in the first issue, the one where the judge basically says, "Hey, you know, you're not doing your client any favors by defending him since you're Daredevil. You know, tell him this. You know," and basically gave the case like a reset. You know, basically let the client pick somebody else. And then we find out that Foggy's having a relationship with this character, this district attorney.
Hooray! Good for Foggy.
Hooray.
Yay.
Foggy is pimp, though.
Yeah, I like Foggy.
I mean, Matt Murdock is crazy pimp. Like, Matt Murdock gets laid like the most out of all of the Marvel universe. But Foggy is pretty pimp too. Oh, he
Let's
totally
see.
does.
Off the top of my head, let's see. There's Elektra. There's Karen Page. There's
He
Black
has
Widow?
Mila there. Black Widow, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
She-Hulk
I-
getting...
probably. Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
probably. God,
Um,
has Daredevil and She-Hulk ever been in court with each other before? I can't.
I
even-
would assume
Sure, they
so.
must have.
God,
If
I-
not, that would make a great mini.
Why hasn't that happened? Yeah.
By Dan Slott like pronto. Dude.
Daredevil, She-Hulk, trial separation.
Yeah.
It happened to Dan Slott. If Dan Slott
There you go, Joe. Make that happen.
You can have that for free.
happened,
These things wreck themselves.
I know,
sometimes.
really. It's just.
I was just thinking about She-Hulk today and Dan Slott's run. Oh my God!
Oh, I'm sure you were thinking about She-Hulk. A lot of men do.
Yeah.
She-Hulk
I was in the shower thinking about She-Hulk.
Jonathan Hickman was saying She-Hulk's going to be appearing in either FF or Fantastic Four in the near future too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
like,
Daredevil.
so back to the comic. Daredevil's tracking down some leads, I guess, on his client. And jeez, who is this guy? He's
He's
Is
the
it
previous.
lawyer?
He's the previous lawyer who.
the previous lawyer, yeah, that was defending the client, yeah.
And it turns
and,
out that he believed he was being threatened.
Yeah, because we got the thing where he's checking their heart rates and.
Oh
he's kinda-
god, it's brilliant! I love it! I love it so much. It's like they've got the normal pink figures, black figures, pixelates with the pink lines rippling down their bodies. Except one line is green and it has the heartbeats on it. Bum, 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 bum. Love it. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, and he got threatened, and he like somebody was threatening him to not defend him. Is that what happened?
Yeah, somebody was threatening him to drop the case. Otherwise, his boyfriend would be in danger.
Yeah.
And a voice like an electronic, what is that? Older male, echo heavy, like a bad connection, not electronic or filtered over the phone. But every lawyer that Daredevil has asked this night has said the same story.
Yeah.
One doesn't want that man to win his case.
Yeah. And he's like basically tracking it down, and he finds out something about like some money. He says basically the client was getting ready to spend the money in advance, before he won his case, and he asked him, says, any chance did Jabani ever mention he'd do with the money if he won? And he pointed him to like he has like a business or something, looks like an electric company, sort of small time retail business or something, and it's all boarded up. So Daredevil goes to check it out.
Giovanni said that he would buy the building if he won his court case. He would use the money that he won in his case to buy the building. Somebody's in this building who doesn't want it bought. And do you see this little panel here? It's a wonderful wee touch. And I was looking and I had to puzzle over it. And I was like, why has he done that? As Daredevil lands on the building, he has one of his gloves off and he's just touching the wall. And it took me a minute to realize that he's
He's reading it.
He's reading it. He's reading the name of the store off of the cloth awning by just running his hand over it.
That's
Didn't draw
awesome.
attention. That's the sort of stuff that's really good about this, is the way they slip these little things, little casual uses of his powers and like that without bothering to draw attention to it. Like.
And I never caught that either. The horn coming off and Cap's wing coming off of his
He's
mask. All these little
back
things.
as the issue goes on.
Yeah. But like he breaks into the boarded up store, and then we find out what's in there that doesn't want to be. Do we want to spoil it? I mean,
Oh, we gotta spoil it
gotta
because
spoil-
it's just too. I mean, I kind of want to spoil it, but it's on the cover of issue 3, so it's been spoiled on the
so
solicits
it's already been
already.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Turns out it's the claw.
Bastard of sound! Yes.
And
Yes, I saw he's going to be on the. I saw him on the cover of issue 3, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's awesome! Why has Daredevil never fought Claw before?" Because Claw,
it takes Mark Waid to figure this shit out.
I know. Because if you don't know about Claw, Claw is made of solid sound.
Oh
so
God.
Daredevil can't perceive him. His radar tells him that he's physically there, but his ears just pick up noise. They completely throw his senses into disarray, and they.
I
they
love this
explode
panel.
his touch.
This
yeah.
bewildered look on his face, and he says, "What the hell?" He has no idea what's there. He can't make it out.
That's
And then the
awesome.
word, it is totally and completely. And then he
Okay,
hits
well
one of
you
them
just sold me on this comic. That sounds awesome.
It is.
and
so he's like-
and then one of them explodes.
Yeah, he's
Well,
like
there-
trying to
there's
figure out what
multiple
it
claws.
is.
I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of claws here. None of them are intact. They're all little fragmented echoes of claw, I guess you might
They
say.
got like holes in them. It's like their bodies have holes in them and stuff. It's like they're not like fully formed or something. And he's trying to figure out what they are. He's like, they're not human. I can't. My radar senses tell me they have physical shape, but my ears say they're just noise. And then like he reaches out for one of them, and then they all start, looking at him and coming after him, and you got this crazy Daredevil trying to fight something that he can't even really, hear or sense
Ooh.
or anything.
Yeah, you can't perceive properly.
Yeah. And so like something happens, and it looks like he throws his billy club into one of them, and it explodes, and the sound's so loud that it knocks him out.
Jeez.
Oh my
So
goodness.
he wakes up, and he's not sure how long he's been out. It says they're still building whatever they were building. They're building this device, as you can see like here on the panel.
Final
And
page.
he says they're still building whatever they're building, but I'm not here. Like I'm not here, but they, let's say they, do they know I'm awake? They know they don't care. I can't move my arms and legs. Why can't I move? And you're seeing everything like through his radar vision, this kind of blurry mess. and we turn the page, and it looks like they're building him into a claw harness. Like maybe he's gonna be Claw's new body or something.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's it. I mean, I'm assuming these are like it's more than once before, like, Claw has been shattered into pieces, and he just splits up into echoes of himself. And you see this bit where Daredevil asks him, "What are you?" And then they just repeat, "Are you? Are you? Are you?"
Yeah.
Are you? Back at it. Like, they're just echoes of Claw, and it seems like, particularly because you see what Daredevil's got wrapped around his fist when he's in there, and he's got Claw's sonic horn built around his hand. So I'm assuming these echoes are going to reconstitute themselves into the whole Claw in Daredevil. And you know what else is? Do you know what else is awesome? Do you know what else is awesome? This is a 3-part story. This isn't a 6-part, one-trade story. This is a 3-part story. It's going to conclude next issue. And in issue 4, Marcos Martin's going to draw the main strip. And issue 4 is also out next month because Daredevil's double shipping.
Awesome.
Wow.
I mean, my God, there is not a bad thing happening with Daredevil.
No, there's not. Good book. I liked it. Awesome. Everybody should buy this book. Buy Daredevil. I can't believe I'm saying that. You know?
I know. This is like suddenly just violently bursting in at the top of the host of another podcast who I follow on Twitter. He was just he was saying, if you're feeling disillusioned this week with the output of Marvel, here's 3 books you should check out to show old school. And he listed Avengers Academy, Daredevil, and Journey into Mystery.
Awesome.
And that's the best 3 Marvel books. I think we all basically agree on that. Those are the 3 Marvel books we always stop to talk about. Well, I mean, Daredevil is only the 2nd time, but I think we can agree we will, in the future, stop to talk about Daredevil.
But yeah, I can't wait for the next issue. That was awesome. Very good.
Awesome. Very, 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 very good stuff.
I'll jump into Journey into Mystery, number 626. We hadn't talked about that in a while, have we? We talked about the first couple issues, and then I think we were like, every issue is awesome, so we're just going to say the same stuff over again.
There is that, every issue is great, and the last couple of issues in particular have been building on the stuff that Gillen was doing in his Siege Aftermath storyline that I talked about, like, a year ago or whatever, whenever Loki brokered the deal between Hela and Mephisto in Hell. It's seen Loki go back to Hell to try and get help from them and play them off against each other and to try and help in the war against the serpent that he's preparing for.
It's been this is like one of those books where they've been doing good stuff with Fear itself. Journey into Mystery started as a Fear itself book. Like the first issue said Fear itself underneath the title, didn't it? I mean, like very first issue.
Yeah. It's been
of this series. Yeah. And it's been one of the books where I've enjoyed it. Where stuff like the Avengers books, I've not given really a damn about it, but stuff in Journey into Mysteries actually going forward, stuff is actually happening. It feels like it's gonna be meaningful, that something's actually being done with it.
The funny thing is how little it has to do with Fear itself, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the outskirts.
From issue to issue has each subsequent issue really has nothing to do with it. It's just the base concept on top of which it is all laid is Fear itself. And I will be very interested to see exactly what Journey into Mystery does after Fear itself.
Yeah. Because
although the individual issues mean very little towards Fear itself, the whole shebang is only happening because Fear itself is happening. So it's occupying a rather odd position in terms of Fear itself tie-ins that I will be interested to see what happens to it afterwards. But that's getting ahead.
So, after Fear itself, though, do you think it'll become like the misadventures of Loki?
I would expect nothing less and would indeed be violently disappointed.
I hope so.
I really like the recap at the beginning of this issue because it's is it Leah? Is that her name?
Yeah.
What is she to Hela? She is.
She's just like a little attendant. I don't think I don't know if she's spawned from her or if she was a dead spirit that Hela just recruited. But yeah, this recap she ends every speech bubble. I am Leia, first attendant to Hela, goddess of hell. I'm not Loki's girlfriend.
Everything she says, she's recapping it, and then she'll be like, Let's see.
While all of Asgard marched to war with the serpent, long lost god of fear, Loki ran away to my lady's kingdom in hell on the back of an enslaved hell wolf. I'd never date a coward. On a fool's errand to save Asgard single-handedly, he foiled a plot by servants of the serpent to undermine the underworlds, and contrived a pact between the hell gods Hela and Mephisto for mutual protection. Thinks he's so clever. It's great because it's a great summary. But it's like, I mean, I always love it whenever like the writer writes the summary, like when the summary is incorporated like this, because Marvel's summary pages are crap anyway. I mean, they're always just the same generic 4 paragraphs, then with a final paragraph recapping the last issue. It never flows together. It never really works well. But these are great, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that was just like awesome because like normally I don't read the recaps unless it's like issue that I pick up, but like I noticed that, hey, you know, she's talking, maybe she'll say something interesting. Yes, this is awesome, best page ever, you know.
Next tool in his scheme lies in Limbo, where demons go when they die, so Loki had the Desir kill his Hell Wolf to provide him with a ride below. Hope he never comes back. I'm only waiting here for him because Hela said so.
It's so great, yeah. And what happens is we get to find out in this issue kind of what Balder's been doing since he died. He, yay!
He's not just been dead, is he?
He's not just dead, no. He's in Limbo. And he is joined up with another group of warriors that died, and they are hunting demons and monsters and stuff in Limbo. They're the purpose is that they're killing them because there's something larger in Limbo that eats them, and if they can kill these creatures, they're basically, you know, starving this other thing, and they're preventing it from escaping Limbo. And they don't really, you know, tell you what it is yet. And then the story moves on, and we get Loki. Where Loki in the last issue, he's basically collecting things. You know, he's got this task where I guess he's trying to help Thor. He's trying to, you know, help Asgard and everything, but he's, you know, lying, and he's taking these things. And what are they? The 3 sisters, the sisters of
the Norn.
Yeah.
No, the Norn's happening over in
That's
Thor.
another thing. Okay.
But he's like the sisters told him he needed these things.
Yeah, the Desir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Desir. He's going to get them.
So he's going to collect these items, and him and his Hell Wolf have gone to Limbo. In order to go
that's the end of the last issue. Like the Hell Wolf was like, "How are we going to get to Limbo?" And then Loki basically just did a big Bugs Bunny eyebrows, and he had the Desir kill the Hell Wolf, so it went to Limbo with him riding on its back.
Yeah, it crashes like a meteorite hitting the ground and everything.
Nice.
And they're in Limbo, and Loki's like, Limbo, can't say I'm that impressed, as he's looking around. And the Hell Wolf mentions, you know, Loki, I swore I'd serve you for as long as I lived. I've had the life cut out of me by those slatin bitches of Mephisto's. Where's that leave us? And then like Loki starts running. And he says, I thought so.
I thought so.
So he's no longer alive, so like their deal's over, and he's chasing after him to kill him. And he almost catches him, and then then you turn the page. Surtur's in this issue!
Oh, it's fucking Surtur. Oh yeah, now we're talking.
So it turns out that thing that Balder is trying to prevent from escaping Limbo is Surtur. He's killing all the other creatures, so Surtur can't like feast on them and get stronger. So he eats the Hell Wolf.
Surtur has been dead since Dan Jurgens' Thor. Surtur and Odin died together like 10 years ago.
Wow.
And they both
They've
went
been
to
in limbo
Limbo.
ever since.
Yeah. And
Odin's been freed, and Surtur's still there.
So like he eats the Hell Wolf, and he talks around, and he's like, all is consumed in the fires of Surtur. The more I feed, the more I grow. The more I grow, the more I consume. And then Loki comes out and says, hello, Surtur.
Nice.
Oh.
Hi.
Wow.
It's so awesome. I love this book. And so Surtur says, Loki, I know you, Loki. You are smaller, yet you do not deceive me. Loki says, I do not wish to deceive you. I was concerned. I was interested in you. Aye, for some scheme. Surely your lies are grand as ever. You know, and so they just go back and forth and back and forth. They talk about how Surtur's trapped in limbo and he's trying to get out, and Odin's out, and so Loki basically says, "Yeah, let me help you. I want to let you out." And of course, Surtur, knows he's Loki. He's like the Prince of Lies or and everything. You can't trust him. So he like starts trying to kill him with the sword. And he talks about how I don't need your help. In time, I'll be free. He's already strong enough where Balder and his group won't face him because earlier in the issue, Balder said that they can't kill whatever's trying to escape Limbo, but they can try to help prevent it from escaping by killing the other monsters and preventing it from getting stronger. So like he's about to kill him. And Loki says, and then, after you get out, then what are you going to do? And Surtur basically says, destroy the 9 realms, bright fuel of screaming, it will all burn, a final Ragnarok, ashes, but ashes choking all. And then Loki says, but starting with Asgard, yes. He says, I'll give you Asgard, that's where I'll release you. And then Surtur says, how would you do this?
I was really confused by this next bit. I couldn't understand it it took me like 2 pages to understand. Twilight casts a long shadow. Let me take it. I will carry it to Asgard. I assume he's just asked him to hand over his sword.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
The link between it and your blade cannot be broken. And I'm like, between what and your blade? You just said you were going to take the sword, didn't you? I didn't understand it. And but basically, they settle their argument. Loki swears an oath. Surtur holds out the sword, says, take the shadow. And Loki actually picks up the shadow of the blade off the ground and puts it in his pocket. It is so mythological and word-based.
The first shadow awesome. Was too big, though.
Yeah, a little
so
too large, perhaps. Yeah, so
he had him hold it up higher.
Into the glow of the sun to create a smaller shadow that he can actually lift in his hand.
But before he gives him the shadow, he makes Loki swear. He says, swear to be ash if you do not speak truth. Swear a binding oath. Swear so your existence will crumble if you do otherwise. And Loki agrees to it and everything, and then he gives him the shadow, like you said. And as he's leaving, he's talking to, what was the name of the... Yeah.
Look backwards.
And when he says, when he discovers, is what the Raven says, and Loki says, by then the task will be complete. Let's not count our disaster.
Loki specifically, let's not count our disastrous chickens while an ill-brained farmhand is still stomping on eggs. But Loki specifically swears, when you emerge from Twilight's shadow, Asgard as of old will be before you. There's lots of wiggle room in that sense.
Yeah. It's like he gets out.
You're going.
Oh, he gets out of limbo. Which this is the part I don't remember. Like he emerges from the Odin sleep chamber.
How did Odin get out of this place again? Well, it wasn't. I mean, it was done in fractions for story arc, which didn't really sweat the notion of explaining things. So Thor split the casket in rage, and that brought Odin back somehow. But a dwarven smith has just finished repairing the casket, and suddenly there's just knocking from inside it.
Tap, tap, tap. That's what it says.
Thank you, sir. The lid is somewhat heavy. I have not the arm for the task. Fare you well, and similar Asgardian statement.
Yeah. So he's like running around, and Loki's got something else he needs to go get, and he's talking to somebody in the next panel, and it doesn't show who it is, but he's trying to get whoever this person is to agree to help him. That it'll be good for Asgard, I guess. The page switches, and basically what he's doing is the person he's talking to is going to help him break into Odin's, like his treasure room or something, and like his armory is what it is, and there's like a weapon or something. So he breaks in. Yeah, he breaks in and he steals something, and he takes all the items back to those witches, those women, and while he's sorry, go ahead.
The Desir is just what they're called.
Desir. Yeah, I couldn't remember what they're called.
The Soul Eaters.
They're kind of like these dead, skeleton, skinny-looking monster people. But yeah,
their job was to consume No, what was it? No, they were Boar's Valkyries, they're now damned creatures that feed on souls, but they can't eat the souls of any Asgardians who go to Valhalla or the Underworld. So they're just, and since no Asgardians ever go to anywhere else under normal circumstances, they'd been consigned to the realm of myth for a long time until the fall of Asgard stopped, threw a big spanner in those works, and so Loki brought them back to Earth.
So they're sort of like former contestants of Next Top Model.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
But they're wonderful. They're wonderful characters because they are so nasty. They are the most dry, black humor, droll, murderous monsters.
Yeah, I like how Tyr, the God of War, he's talking to him, and he's not afraid of him. He's going to fight him and everything. And he says, "I fear nothing. I faced you before, and since then I have seen far worse." And one of them says, "You fear nothing, then say our name." And then he doesn't do anything. He just he turns away from him, and they call him coward.
Just because I have parted company with fear does not mean I have similarly left sense.
Yeah. I don't know what I mean. Like, does their name bring about
no, it's just a scary thing.
something?
It's just something nobody would say. If you said it, they would come for you. So he won't say it, even though they're standing there already.
And then,
I love this on the previous page here. There's just a little footnote, Leia comes to give Tyr a message just about the state of hell and everything, and Tyr's like, "Oh, we have to go back and help her," and Leia says, "No, she has called upon her Valkyrie." And then I love it. The footnote is there's a footnote for a reference to go and read New Mutants number 29 to find out what's going on in that story, but it's done in the same little scroll cell, so it's not "for more, see New Mutants number 29, Asgardian Axel," or whatever it says. "For more, turn thy gaze to New Mutants 29.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
This part with the floating city, I don't. Is this from Fear, the last issue, Fear itself? Is that the city that the serpent had floating up and everything?
I fear this is a poor day for the new town of York.
Yeah, the new town of York. Basically, we then see what Loki, I guess, stole from the armory on the next page. We turn the page. And Loki
Odin will raise the earth rather than see that. And if he fails, the serpent's reign in Asgard will surely do likewise. But my dear friends, I have a different ending in mind for Dark Asgard.
He says we're going to destroy it. And the destroyer's on the
Oh yeah! But this is great because this is a two-part mystery. He stole the armor of the destroyer from the armory, but whoever he was talking to on the previous page is the soul that's animating the destroyer, so we don't even know the full story yet.
Oh, wow.
It's so awesome. I love this book.
Totally.
Book.
Yeah, don't say its name. It will appear before you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's
awesome.
And I'm not going to talk about it, but Punisher number 2 came out, and it's still good.
Still doesn't talk, and he's still good, right?
Still not talking, still good.
Nice.
I like the idea of. I mean, he barely appeared in the first issue. I know, so I think they've got to build up to it. I think that's logically what they're doing. But I said it last time. I like the idea of that. Just revisiting the idea, or maybe visiting for the first time, I don't know. The idea of the Punisher as the bogeyman of the underworld, the dark creature that all criminals must really live in fear of, which is the image of him that they put across in the first one. So, but of course we know he's not. We know he's a man, so they have to work up to that slowly. But he's in this one.
I do like how they explain why he didn't kill that guy at the end of the first issue. It's because he's supposed to lead him back to the people that made the call to have those that guy murdered during the massacre at the wedding. And basically nobody will help him. He goes to his friends. It's no, you've been marked by the Punisher. Either he's going to kill you or he's following you back to somebody and he's going to kill them. Get out.
How boogeymanish is that? It's oh, you've been touched by the icy fingers of the creature.
Yeah.
He'll come for you with the knife. I love that. Yeah, they're all that afraid of the dark thing. I like it a lot.
And
course,
Norm
by
Winter's
next
issue too, which I thought was cool. She's doing
Nora, for the love of God, I didn't the issue, but my friend Jeff did, and he was like, and it had the doll from the Daily Bugle in it, and I was like, oh, you mean... And then my brain shut down, and I haven't been able to remember her friggin' name all week. Nora, thank you.
Yeah.
Nora.
But it was good. Yeah, it's still good. I recommend picking up Punisher and trying it out.
I watched some of Punisher Warzone last week. Does that count?
Nope, that movie sucks.
No. Okay.
So fantastically rubbish, though. Did you get to the bit where he punches clear through the guy?
Yeah! Punches through his head. I was like, that's awesome!
What
Oh,
about the guy that's like jumping around and he shoots him with like a rocket launcher?
That was great. Yeah, the people are like running and flipping through, and then
It's like flipping
boom!
around.
And they even had a splash sound effect as well, which was excellent.
We're
I
expecting
gotta watch this.
Yeah.
those are the 2 best-minute moments in the film. But you're expecting a big running battle across the rooftops.
Nope.
And it's like, ooh, yeah, parkour, ooh, free running. No.
Boom!
I laughed like a drain when he punched through the guy's head, though, because it's completely at odds with the rest of the film.
It's
you know?
ridiculous.
It's like, it's a stupid film as well, because it's about the Punisher feeling remorse for his actions.
Yeah.
It's like, this is going to be the last job.
Yeah, right.
Fuck it. Do something good.
Yeah.
And so there's that scene later in it whenever the really racially insensitive Hispanic stereotype has been shot and is laying dying, and he's doing his best Eric, "Help me, man! I don't want to die like this!"
Yeah.
But I could imagine nothing less than the Punisher gently taking him and going,
Yeah.
punching right through his head.
I don't know.
His misery.
I think one of my favorite parts was the part like after the punch through the face when the cop is going to cuff the guy and he just shoots him in the head. Just like head explodes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's a great movie. How can you say it was a terrible movie? It was hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
that's my comics for this week.
awesome. So Nicole.
Okay, well, I'll start off with the one book I've been excited about, more excited than the whole DC relaunch. In the 3 weeks I haven't been here, this is the most exciting thing I've read, and it's the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, #1.
Yay!
Woo.
Hey, they're
I
back!
want that so bad. I wish I would have got that.
The biggest problem with this book is deciding which cover you want, because there's more covers to this than I don't think I've ever seen, because you get the different
Raphael.
covers.
I want the Raphael one.
Well, you got one of each of the individual turtles. You got the one with all 4 of them. Then you've got the one that has a special fold-out one. Then you
It
have.
looked like they connect the individual cover because it kind of looked like
Yeah,
they did. They
I
all
don't-
went together.
I don't want to
can
go
have-
off on a tangent, but that pisses me off. The gimmicky, like, 5-10 different covers, like, really? Come on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
so you
always
got
been the
5,
way I
6,
just cover it
7. You got 11 different covers for this.
Holy crap,
Seriously? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, but some of them are the collector's covers. Most likely, you're gonna find, the one with individuals or the one. So
That is just a way to bilk money out of insane people. I mean, that's just okay. Anyway,
well, I just picked up the one that was on the very front, and it's Michelangelo. So I got the Mickey cover. And let me just go back to this. If you can see the cover, yes, that's Michelangelo, and he does have a red bandana.
are they all red?
Yes, they're all red, just like they were in the original comics. They didn't get their colored bandanas until.
Is the comic colored? I mean, is this one colored or is it black and white?
No, it is colored. It is-
Okay.
Right, I thought it was like black and white. I'm a little surprised.
No, this one's all colored. Let's show you. Here's the first page. The first page looks a little dark because they're coming out with. This is the present time on the first page, and they are in their first fights. So you see Splinter and the boys going up against Old Hob and his crew. But you notice something in this. You're missing out on a certain turtle. There's only 3 turtles. So you're just like,
Venus de Milo.
Yeah.
So, because when I was reading through this, I made sure I didn't flip through anything because I wanted to be surprised. I was just like, wait, there's only 3 of them. And at first, because again, they all have their red bandanas. You can't really figure out who's missing until the next page. You find it out.
Look at their weapons.
Yeah, that's see, that's the thing.
That's
You
what
look
I
at their,
told.
you look at their weapons in the next page, and there's some
Okay.
really, really fun artwork in here. Like I said, it's kind of heavily lined, but it goes back to that feeling of the '80s comics. You still get that feel. So you see them having their epic battle, and Splinter tells them, "You do not kill anyone. You just get your job done and you leave." So Splinter's in the background.
like real ninjas.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like real ninjas. You don't hurt anybody. You just go in, do your thing, get out. You know.
Make sure you don't bring any reporters down to the sewer layer this time. Just don't do that.
Yeah. I don't care how yellow their jumpsuits are or how big their tits are. Leave them up there.
And then they're fighting, and then of course you have Splinter and Old Hob getting together, and you find out they have a past. But again, Splinter doesn't want to kill him; he just wants to hurt him. And then Old Hob brings up a painful memory. It says, "I'm going to take you down like the freaks you are." He's like, "And maybe you'll disappear like that other one, and to be forgotten forever." And of course, they're talking about the lost turtle, which is Wrath. So.
Ah.
Yeah, you see sad little Wrath.
Am I
again,
to understand this is like a fresh continuity? This doesn't
it is
follow
a
on.
very
This is the
fresh.
start, yeah.
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
very start. So you see, this is the very beginning, and then they talk about going back 18 months earlier. Now, 18 months, what, a year and a half. You go into the laboratory where you see the turtles are in their cage. So it's only been 18 months since they've mutated and grown up. So, and this is one thing that's weird. I think they messed up here, because you can see how cute they are. I don't know if you can see. Look how cute they are. But can you see something? Those are sea turtles.
Oh.
Yeah, big flippers, yeah.
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 Well, maybe they're sea turtles in this continuity. Maybe they washed up a pipe.
Maybe
Yeah.
underwater battles.
Yeah.
It's like one thing that kind of threw me off. I'm like, And then you are introduced to the new intern at this laboratory, and that is April O'Neil. So April is not a news reporter. She is a medical scientist intern right now. And
Right, okay.
she is on her first day on the job, where her boss, introduces her to the turtles, who are this new experiment that it has to do with genetic regeneration. Basically, it's
Oh
a
shit! So this is like totally different then.
It's very different, but it still has some
okay.
feels to it. It still has
But it is
classic.
still being written by Eastman, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So
Okay.
it has a legitimacy too, is what I like about
Kevin
it.
Eastman and Tom Waltz. So
Yeah.
yeah, and so you see her, and she's getting introduced to these turtles, and you know what? You can tell she just falls in love with them at first, but then you see little Splinter come into the view, and she doesn't care for rats. Let's just say that, okay?
Oh my God.
And so basically he explains, well, he's part of another experiment. Basically this is all to help generate food for third world countries. So they're doing this generic process to help grow meat in the lab. And
Turtle soup.
yeah, but
Oh,
what's funny? They make the turtle soup cook in here. So don't worry.
Oh, okay. Well, we're as smart as Kevin Eastman.
With Splinter, they're doing a different experiment on how to make animals smarter by splitting their brains into animalistic and humanistic. So that's where he gets his name Splinter, because his brain is split.
Jesus, this is kind of well thought out, isn't it? Pretty
Very well.
Animalistic and
surprised by
humanistic.
this.
What?
Is this going to be like the same origin for the Nickelodeon show when it comes on, or is it going to be different?
I think so, because at the very beginning, it actually has the Nickelodeon IDW tie-in. So I'm thinking it might have something to do with it, which I'm so excited for. But the thing is,
I've been thinking about the new Nick cartoon for a while now, because I mean, you got the original Turtles comic, you got the '80s cartoon, and you got the 2000s cartoon, which was a fusion of the two. And, the origin is still right the same there. And I've been wondering for a while, I've just been saying to myself, I wonder what they're going to do with the new Turtles. How far afield can you really take it? And, hey, I guess you could go pretty damn far. This is like Ultimate Turtles.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't...
it wasn't actually Daredevil that created the Turtles this time.
Yeah. See, there's little bits with April in there, and she does have her traditional yellow on. So it's not, her...
So it's not a yellow jumpsuit.
No, she's just got her yellow shirt. So
I respect Eastman for at least being willing to draw on the cartoon, where Laird has never really seemed that willing to.
Well, I just think this is so cute because while they're explaining all of this, what's going on with the animals, Splinter is just up there, and he knows exactly what they're talking about. He is taking in the conversation, so his mind is starting to go, and April still doesn't feel comfortable around him yet.
Don't use apes for this, though. That's
it immediately makes more sense than the rat that copied its master's ninja moves from the cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
even the 80s cartoon realized that didn't make sense. So they made Splinter and Yoshi the same character.
Yeah.
Well, this is where it gets very interesting if you watch cartoons. So Dr. Stockman, he's the guy that's
fucking yes, Baxter Stockman. Oh yes, Baxter Stockman is the best cartoon character ever.
But Dr. Stockman is watching over this experiment, so he is over the lab. But he gets a mysterious phone call from someone wondering if his experiment is going on, because he hasn't updated this certain collar. And then you go into this, and he talks about this guy named Krang. Krang's the collar. Yeah.
I gotta figure out what
Yeah, so you never see his face, because if you guys know Krang in the comic books, he was nothing really human. So all you see is him on the intercom, kind of like Charlie's Angels, and you see his fist.
Crane's Angels now.
Yeah,
Crane's
so.
Good morning, Angels.
God, I want that now, please.
Yes. So you see Dr. Stockman just getting upset because this experiment's not going as quick as he hopes, and of course the scientists aren't paying attention, but a certain little rat is. He is noticing that something's going on up there. So Splinter is definitely taking everything in. Whatever they're doing to experiment on Splinter is working very well, but they're not really paying that close attention because they're mostly paying attention to the little turtles. So, it says 3 months later, you see April talking to the other scientists about the turtles and what's going on. And she's became very attached to them, so she has named them. So, of course, so you get Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, and Raphael. Because apparently
she have a tattered old art book.
No, she's in art history. She's a fan of art, so that's why she's like, I have a strange thing for the Renaissance. But another scientist.
A better justification than I found a book in the sewer.
Yeah.
I'm liking the sound of this. I might go back and pick this up.
Oh yeah.
I really want to pick it up. I wish I'd have picked it up this week, but
I never even considered picking it up though. I knew it was happening. It was just never on my radar. But I'm liking the sound of this. Carry on, tell me a story.
Yeah. Story time.
There's another scientist there that's saying, why are you getting attached to these animals? No. Because she lets it slip that they are doing psychotropic drug tests on all these animals. Of course, April's in an outrage, like, what? You can't do this. This is what you told me was going on. And then, of course,
I want to have psychotropic drug tests done on me.
Yeah.
The whole thing is a psychotropic drug trip by April. The whole comment.
Yeah. So. But she of course she explains to him, okay, you can't do this to these animals. I've been attached to them, and look how cute those faces are. Can you see that? Look how cute.
Aww.
And the sea turtles, they're still
delicious.
Yeah, they look tasty. Mm,
Of course, the other scientist is like, okay, whatever. And then you go back into present day, and you see Raph being out on his own. I don't know what happened to Raph. They have not explained that, but he has been wandering off. He's dumpster diving, looking for some food, and of course, he gets excited because what does he find? He finds a pizza box. Okay, we learned that.
Yes! Yes!
But,
I'm just impressed
I hope
that the
that,
Eastman and Laird were willing to put all this stuff in there because, like,
so many sandwings in here, and of course, even with the pizza, he's still dumpster diving because he only finds the crust, and then he finds a T-shirt with. Check this out. Can you see that?
Cowabunga!
And of course, he's just like, oh. He's like, okay, that's just wrong, and he throws
Please
it away.
tell me he fights some sort of a bum that's got a hockey stick and a hockey
Yes.
mask over the pizza. Please tell me.
Wait.
Honey, you should say this. Because he's walking down the street, and he comes across a house, and there's a lot of, let's say, built-up tension and excitement going on, and he's looking in, and you see a father who's going about take the worst out of his son, and of course you realize he calls out a name called Casey. Now you know Casey, right?
mm-hmm.
So that's where Raph comes and he's the hero of the day, and yeah, and that's where you
just a child at this point then.
yeah. So well, he looks like he's older.
No, to be honest, I wouldn't care. I've never been a big fan of Casey Jones. It's always I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's never been he wasn't in the 80s cartoon, which was obviously my first. I mean, he was, but he wasn't a major player in it. So while I know he was in the original comics, I've read about the original comics, I've just never loved him as the way he's suddenly in the last decade just been pushed right up there at the front, major star of the cartoon in the news.
It's because you've got like those comics where he's just beating the hell out of foot soldiers or foot ninjas.
Well, the thing
That's
is,
what's
you
so
can
awesome.
tell he's an older kid living with his dad. Of course,
I
his
wouldn't
dad's
mind
freaking out.
they sidelined him,
Yeah, and so, but that's the last you see. You just see Raph just busting down the door. There you go, and of course, all is revealed because people aren't expecting a big turtle to come
I've
busting.
got a bit of
down.
a troll face going on there.
Yeah, so it's
Problem.
It's very classically drawn. Again, oh, I'm so excited for this series. I don't know if it's because I loved it when I was growing up, but there's a lot of fan wanks here. But it's a new story with some old goodness in it, I guess.
Do I need to drop a book so that I can buy this? I want to buy this.
But what are the chances that Baxter Stockman will turn into a fly?
He better.
Better.
Yeah, no,
Because they went the whole 2003 series doing the most horrible shit to his body. And not once did they even make an in-joke about him turning into a fly. Baxter the Fly is the best cartoon character ever.
This time he turns into a praying mantis.
Yeah.
I tell you, I love this as a first comic. What a great way to introduce a new storyline to old favorites. I'm definitely putting this on my poll list, just because there's so many fun things about it. Of course, this was like the first thing I was obsessed about when I wasn't a child, when I was older, So I remember when the Ninja Turtles came out. So I'm excited to see where they go with it. So yes, if you're a fan of Turtles, this is a must.
Run! Don't walk to your comic shop.
Like I said, you'll have to just decide between all the different. I don't know if you can see that. All the different covers.
Oh God.
I'll just get the one that they're all.
That is just obscene.
That's a bit much.
I would
assume at least some of them are exclusive to certain retailers.
Yeah, and I see it when I saw, because I didn't know there was going to be all the. I just picked up the first one that I saw. I'm like, oh yay, it's out. I didn't realize there was so many.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't get distracted that they don't have their individual colored bandanas. I think that's probably it kind of made it hard at first when they're fighting to try to.
I like the red
Yeah.
better, actually.
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely, I think, as that was one of the things the 2003 series knew well enough to carry over from the 80s cartoons was just for sheer identifiability. You can say, look
For
at
a
their
series, for a cartoon, I would agree with you, color. But if it's a comic, it means more to me if they have the red bandanas for some
Well, I mean,
reason.
it meant
Just look at the
nothing.
cover of the next one. Look how cool that is. That's like such a cool cover.
I don't know which one of them is which.
And see if the artist is good enough. I mean, this is kind of like the test. Like this is how you prove like if he's good enough or not. They'll have different personalities. And
Yeah.
That's the thing. When they're fighting, Michelangelo already makes jokes. He's the silly one. And of course, you can tell Leo is definitely the leader because he's telling people, the others what to do. And of course, Donatello is trying to figure it all out.
So like
He
Donatello
does
needs to be.
machines.
Donatello does the machine, yeah. Donatello needs to be the smart aleck. Michelangelo needs to be the funny guy. Leonardo needs to be the dick. That's how you do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Raphael is the dick. Leonardo is the leader.
Right.
Yeah, you
Donatello's the dick, but
Different
you
sides
definitely
of
tell
the
for
same
Raph-
dick. Wait.
yeah, different dickish.
you definitely tell Raph has anger issues just like he always has. So.
Who drew this, by the way? Who's the artist on this?
Oh, Dan Duncan.
Duncan. Don't know him at all.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's the original creators going back to their old ways, and apparently the new volume 1 through 7 of the original ones are going to be out as well. So.
Yeah, but crazy expensive.
Are they? Oh shit.
Yeah, it is like $50 for a hardback with 7 comics in it.
Whoa.
Black and white.
No
I mean,
thanks.
Whoa.
Just Image went out of business. They issued a paperback with like nearly 20 comics in it, which was like.
I'll just go back to my 20-year-old trade paperback.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure
Yeah.
if I look hard enough, I could find my old comics.
Yeah.
It's about to fall apart on me, but I'll just go back to it.
Yeah. So now I'm going to go into something that also was a childhood favorite, but this comic wasn't as exciting as that one. So I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm talking about Transformers Chaos #1.
What else?
So
Yeah.
yeah, like McFeely said before the show, it definitely was a comic.
Yeah.
That was JC.
Oh, this
Yeah, it was me. It was a comic that came out. It had characters in it. Things
Yeah.
happened, ish.
Something happened, yeah. Basically, what you need to know is Cyclonus is being a badass and taking over everything, pretty much. Why Megs is still in the slammer, and is there anything else? Really?
No, and that's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so here's and here's my problem. I was like, all right, they got all this build up. Last few issues were really great. We're coming into chaos. All right, it's got a title like chaos. That should mean that crazy shit is gonna happen. And I'm like, this is not crazy. Okay, the crazy hasn't happened yet. Okay, it's gonna happen.
It's not crazy. but
coming.
Are you saying it's shit?
And okay, that's the end. I don't even know what happened. Okay.
Just set up for
It's a fine issue. I mean, it's not terrible.
No.
It's not. What makes this issue is the art. The art is beautiful.
It's
I
something.
I think it's gorgeous. I love the opening with the whole
Yep.
outer
The
space.
colors
I'll
are
say about
interesting.
the art. I'll say this about the art. Like, the surface level, painted style, generally speaking, the page layouts, it's all pretty solid stuff. But, turn, if you have it in your hand there, to pages 8 and 9.
Okay.
Now, look at those two bottom panels.
Mhm.
Now, those are both Ironhide.
Okay. Yeah. That's the one thing that I didn't like.
The entire proportion of his face is different in both those panels. The level
Yeah.
and size of face showing. Even the details of the helmet have changed. You can see that there is one crease line and no central line in his helmet in that page. Two crease lines and a central line have appeared in his helmet on the next page. And the balance of the art is all over the place because you've got. Let's see, who have you got? You've got, at a quick glance, you've got Ironhide, and Cliffjumper, and I believe that's Jetfire and Rodimus at a couple of flips, done in the movie-esque, unpopular, redesigned Don Figueroa style. and you've got Sunstreaker and Galvatron looking like in their standard more G1S, and Drift more IDW bodies. You know, the guy's just picked and chosen what specific artists' models that he's going to use, and it results in this hodgepodge of a look that is.
Yeah, see, and that's where I say it's like, I like the colors. Like, the color style is interesting, but the pencils are no.
You know, their indistinctness is heavily masked by the extensive color. Look at page 18 there. Now, study of that page lets me realize that Ironhide has just clobbered Galvatron from behind with the body of a sweep. But the sense of weight, and there is zero sense of weight or motion in that page. It looks like Galvatron is looking up at a sweep that is about to fall on him. You know, but what has happened is that Ironhide has taken it and swung it in an arc and battered him in the back. But Galvatron doesn't look like he's being punched. The sweep doesn't look like it's rising up. It looks like it's falling down, and he's just gulping up at it. You know, there's no sense of weight or motion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flair masking. It's sound and thunder, signifying it not.
I think the coloring's great on a lot of
lovely.
this.
Yeah, it's really unique and interesting, and I think
I love this at is this page 6? I think it's page 6. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, there's not complain about it. That's a great shot of Galvatron. That's the sort of shot of Galvatron I would make a main page on the TF wiki. That's a great shot.
That is beautiful. It's beautiful, but
yeah,
again, it's not a bad issue. You can tell it's setting up for something.
Even on page 6, look at Galvatron. Look at Galvatron's belt buckle. You know, completely asymmetrical. Supposed to be a central line going down, with the two little lines going off in it at the same angle.
Because it's chaotic. It's chaotic.
Whatever. I don't give it that pass.
Who is the artist that this reminds me of? There's like somebody.
I think you probably think Van Templesmith.
There's somebody that does like painted sort of looking art that doesn't really look clear or something. You know.
I think you're thinking of Van Templesmith. 30 Days a Night.
Maybe.
Or the Gentleman Corpse. I think it screams Van Templesmith light to me.
Yeah.
But with none of his style.
But I think, but other than that, I mean, my problem too is that it felt like a preview.
Yeah.
It felt like a preview, not like my issue 1 of Chaos. You know what I mean? It's kind of like.
So the problem is not as good as the lead up to Chaos, which those issues have been pretty good.
Those were great.
I went in with lowered
expectations
because I knew James Robinson had tore the fucking roof off the comic with those last 2 issues. I knew this was never going to be as good as those. But this isn't even as good as Space Opera, the previous storyline.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ongoing's been great lately. This, like I said, you can tell this is setting up for something, especially at the very end. I think that's what it.
But
it just,
we've had a 4-issue miniseries dedicated to setting this concept up, and we've had a 3-part space opera story that also established the fact Galvatron was on Cybertron. With the Infestation miniseries, in which Galvatron said, "Come on and join me, hi," and Optimus Prime said, "You crazy, no." And we had last issue was Notion of May Prelude as well, but it didn't have anything to do with it. You know, this is Infestation again. You know, this is a restatement of everything. That you know, the reason we should have had those stories as preludes was to set this stuff up. We should have been. This is part 1. After all that, we really, really should have been set to go straight in with part 1. And, you know, that is 1 part off of a 4-part story. So now we're with a 3-part story. Or something completely happened.
I expect the end of this issue to be like, what the hell? Oh crap! You know, and the end was kind of like, oh, it's a thing.
I don't know if you guys saw the spoilers. They're coming out in the next few issues, but it's a good setup for the spoilers.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I've seen the solicits for what we've got coming, but you know,
I still didn't feel it. Just I don't know, and I talked on Twitter with a few people as well, Grufflock and Graham, and it was just like flat. I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't.
We should have been out of the gate.
Yeah, it should have just been.
And it's not.
Go.
It's more setup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask a stupid question?
We only ask stupid questions on this show.
Yeah.
Well, I've read ongoing. I did not read Hearts of Darkness. I missed several of the mini series that they were doing. Where did this version of Galvatron come from? I have no idea.
Is that the dark?
Well,
universe?
Galvatron originally appeared back during Devastation, was it?
I didn't get that one.
Oh, that was one of the very early ones. You know, you're talking 5 years ago at this point.
Okay.
No, you're talking. No way, you're really talking about 4 or 5 years ago at this point.
So he showed up in that, and they just have now gone back to him, I guess.
Well, no, he was a central figure in Furman's plan, where he was a member of the crew of the first arc, along with Nova Prime, who were lost in an evil alternate universe called the Dead Universe, and became servants to this thing called the Darkness, or the Heart of Darkness, who wanted them to expand the borders of the Dead Universe and consume the living universe. And then Galvatron appeared to die at the end of Revelation, at the end of Furman's final story. Then he went ignored for a year or so. They did a short story in the All Hail Megatron Coda issues explaining his return to life, and that the Heart of Darkness had become one with him now, and it would be his new purpose was to carry out its whims. And then Infestation brought him back, but Infestation was set after the events of Hearts of Darkness, in which Galvatron discovered that this Unicron light being called the Devoid from within the Dead Universe was going to come and consume all of reality. And he spent Hearts of Darkness was weird. Like the first issue.
Heart of Darkness was yeah.
I didn't pick up Hearts because I saw.
I couldn't recommend it. You know, I mean, it's kind of important for understanding what the hell. But I mean,
like I love Galvatron in season 3 Transformers. That's why I was wondering where the hell did this Galvatron come from?
That Galvatron. No. The first issue of Hearts of Darkness had promise. You know, the second issue was all right, kept it going. You know, third issue went weird, and then by the fourth issue, I had no idea what that comic was doing anymore. And I think we talked about the first issue. Actually,
yeah, we did. We talked about it because the artwork was.
I have not seen an artist as poorly cast on a comic in a long time. Like, I don't want to say he can't draw, because he can. There are some lovely monsters and landscapes that appear later in the miniseries, but he can't draw Transformers. He was chronically badly cast on that miniseries. And, but at the end of it, it's like, I still can't believe that the weird cosmic monster Devoid, which has come out of nowhere in a miniseries that nobody cared about, is going to be the baddie of Chaos. But that's the implication.
The thing is, they didn't even talk about Devoid in here.
I know! For all the amount of setup, they didn't actually tell anybody anything!
No! Because
I think that was my problem.
The only reason that this issue is all the babbling, pointless, go-nowhere setup that it is because Galvatron refuses to take, because he's a baddie, 30 seconds to tell everybody, by the way, Space Monster! That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Maybe that would convince Optimus Prime to help me!
You know what's sad is every time they say Devoid, I just automatically think of Domino's the Noid.
That would be really scary, though. Oh my god.
Oh my god, I just turned back the clock.
That's what every time they say Devoid, I just think of the Noid. I don't know why, but
God.
Oh wow.
That'd be awesome if he was the big baddie. Come on.
God.
The Noid. It would be a slightly more credible and better explained threat than the Devoid.
Jeez.
Come on, the voice alone can make everyone go crazy.
Oh my god.
So, hopefully Transformers will be getting better soon, because I really like the last couple issues.
Yeah, I think I may have overacted there at the last moment, but, you know, it's a setup issue that sets up stuff we knew already and could actually potentially advance the story, but doesn't through one character's stubbornness for no reason. No reason!
Yeah.
Oh, there's no reason for Galvatron not to tell anybody anything but to delay the plot from happening.
Which doesn't... Why? Yeah. Anyway.
So that's it. That's the quick review.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a good setup if we already had a setup.
Yeah, it would be a great setup if we hadn't had everything else.
So.
Awesome.
But that's still not going to stop me from reading the next issue. So
Yeah.
I have so many questions that I'm hoping that one of these days my questions will be answered.
Good luck with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, go read Turtles.
Remember that the next issue is the first part of a different story.
Right. So we have a whole
That's
skip
gonna
thing.
be so confusing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty
I
obvious.
forgot about that. Yeah.
I
So
It's
what
pretty
is our
obvious.
next?
The plan was that Chaos would be a miniseries, and then the ongoing would run this police action story, which is also going by the title "The Last Story on Earth." But instead, they've made the ongoing bi-monthly, and now that story is they're just running on alternating issues.
Oh
I
God.
like that.
Ah.
It's pretty
Um,
obvious Chaos
We'll
would have been
see, but
dedicated.
by December, if all of our answers or all of our questions will be answered. So.
Oh, I have no doubt they will be. I just imagine they might come in the last half of the final issue at the rate the first part went at.
Yeah.
So,
Mind you, I am actually quite looking forward to the last story on Earth.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Because, well, just like
Well,
the little
it's actually
teasers
like-
look good. So.
It's actually building on plot threads that have been properly established over the last year in the ongoing series.
Really?
Yeah.
That happens?
Yes.
It's crazy. Okay. So I guess that's me. I talked about this briefly last week, but I'll mention it again because Chris asked about it at the beginning of the show. Because the first thing I'm going to talk about is Action 904.
Yay!
And you're asking, why are you reading Action?
Why not, JD? That's
Well,
the real
see,
question. Why not?
2 weeks
reaction?
ago, at my shop, we all wrote out our pull list. And, of course, it's the pre-52 stuff. So I put down all my 52 stuff. And, of course, that pulled me for the last of the
That's why you were
52.
talking about Justice League last week.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
put all that stuff on my pull list, and then it ended up in my box.
It's like, you want Action Comics? Well, let me get you caught up on Reign of Doomsday.
Yeah. So, I don't even. The only reason I really want to talk about the couple of reasons why I'm talking about it. I really don't have anything else. But the only other thing that I read was the end
Yeah,
of
you're
Brightest.
talking about Daredevil right
I got Brightest
Just
Day
saying.
Swamp Thing as well. But I was really kind of pissed off with how that ended, so I don't even know if I really wanted to talk about it. Because they just sort of threw in Dead Man, and then at the end of it, he basically just was like, whatever. So it didn't even make any sense, so whatever. So I don't understand the first half of this, so I'm not even going to review that part.
Okay, you're just reviewing
Want
the
me to
dinner
explain
conversation.
some of it?
Well, I don't understand any of this Reign of Doomsday stuff.
There was something like a contingency plan with Lex Luthor where he did something with Doomsday, and it was stupid whatever he did.
Yeah,
It was,
and all I know is the Eradicator died, and
it was like when Lex Luthor was going to become like a god or something, when he was collecting the black energy source. If he lost or something, his contingency plan I think was Doomsday. Doomsday is gonna get Superman or something, and it was weird. It was not good. It's not been very good issues of Action. I've not enjoyed them at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
But lots of two Doomsday things and fighting and Superman talking about things are complicated, and
You
then
got like the
Well,
new
I sure would have
Doomsday.
loved it if a little girl could have given me a recap at the start of this issue.
yeah, that would have been great if there
It
would have been
also-
some sort of lead-in instead of just. I mean, there is no title page whatsoever. It's just starts in with people punching Doomsdays.
There's a newer Doomsday which is going to destroy Earth, and then like the old Doomsday has been possessed by this entity, and you get like a scene or something where Superman and Doomsday team up and fight the new Doomsday. Crap,
Yeah. And it's supposed to be what, the Eradicator thing, and
Eradicator died.
And Eradicator
he died
dies.
fighting a Doomsday or something. It's basically the Super Family versus all the Doomsdays. Like,
Right.
if you're going to end a Superman comic, you got to end with the Superman family fighting a whole bunch of Doomsdays.
right.
But it's still crap, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
Paul Cornell, so I'm really, really sorry to say that what he's written is crap, because did some awesome Lex Luthor stuff.
Yeah, but so anyway, at the end of this, the second half of this is Clark and Lois having dinner and a chat about life and things, and I mean, you know, it's like I don't want to go through the entire conversation, but I thought it was a nice sort of conversation, and Superman talking about, you know, trying to talk to Lois about, you know, the state of his being and who he is, and
It's good
where
art
he comes
too.
from.
I really like the art.
Art's
like
nice, you
the
know.
art's nice.
And you know, he talks about, you know, who he is, and he went on the whole, you know, basically what Lois explains to him is that, you know, you are Clark Kent, you know, and that Clark Kent Superman thing is really, you are who Martha and Jonathan raised you to be. And
I like how he mentions Lex Luthor, because when Lex Luthor knows that he's Clark Kent at the end of the other run, when Luthor came to power, it didn't matter. He thought, well, maybe that would make a difference and it would sort of smooth out their relationship, and it didn't matter.
right, and it didn't matter. Yeah.
And she makes the references, well, that's Luthor. He can never see the forest for the sign saying forest.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that was a great line.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of nice. I mean, it was just like you know, because we know that coming up, you know, they're not going to be together. And so that's sort of like a farewell to their relationship, really, I guess.
It's a good way to end the comic. It's definitely the strength of the issue. I mean, the Doomsday stuff is crap. It was always crap.
Yeah.
But this stuff is decent. I mean, it does a whole lot better job than the Superman title did, because it just ended.
Well, and especially like the end part here, because he says that he went on a journey to find it. He went on a journey to find himself, and if he just would have talked to her and she would have given him the speech, then that's all he really needed.
Yeah.
So
She says, see, now you're getting it. It was here all the time.
Yeah.
Damn it, DC Comics. Damn
Yeah,
it.
all that J. Michael Straczynski stuff was a waste of time.
It was.
I could have done it all here.
I wish you would have said, damn it, I can't believe it was all a teacher the whole time. You know,
Yeah.
it was a teacher the whole time.
So anyway, yep, that's why I read Action, and you know, there you go. Farewell to that, and we'll see what happens.
It still isn't Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. I mean, we needed
No.
a Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow type story for the end of this universe. I mean, after reading this and reading other Superman, I kind of feel like maybe I don't care that this universe is ended now, because
I know, it's like,
they didn't obviously care enough to give me that last story, you know?
yeah, yeah, I don't know. I didn't care a lot about that Superman, so I'm hoping maybe I'll like this Superman. Maybe I'll like the new Superman. But so anyway, so that's that. Did Felix step away? Did I miss something?
He did.
Okay.
No. You freeze up? What?
I don't know.
No, he stepped away.
Oh,
He
Miss
said-
Felix stepped
Oh,
away.
Right.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
we're
okay.
having
My bad.
they're having problems hearing everyone but you, JD, in the chat.
Yeah, I tried to level out some of the volume, but I'm still working on that bit of it.
JD just wants to be the only one heard.
Not really. I'd rather not be.
He doesn't care what everyone else thinks.
No. No. So, anyway,
Oh, technology.
technology.
My hair has gotten completely flat since this whole show.
Oh,
Whee!
we can do it.
Yeah, okay, anyways, sorry.
So, let's.
Did you
see.
read GL Core, JD? Did you happen to pick up the last issue and read
Did
it?
I not get Core? I guess I didn't. Did that come out
Yeah.
today or last week?
Yeah, I don't know if it was this week or last week, but it was in my stack.
I think it came out last week, and yes, I did read it.
Okay.
So, anyway, on to Emerald Warriors. Last issue of that. That's ending.
Ooh.
But this was awesome. Why was this awesome? Because it's like a
'Cause it's the last
JLI
issue.
preview.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it's a team up between Guy Gardner and Batman. Bruce Wayne
Woo!
Batman. Yeah.
We could have been doing this the whole series, but we waited to the last issue.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the issue, Guy's at a baseball game, and gets an alert call from his ring to report to the space station where there's shenanigans. And lo and behold, Batman's already there, and there's some dude riddled with holes undead. And so it's really great because it's like you see, I mean, of course Batman is a badass, and of course Guy Gardner is a badass, but they have two different ways of being badasses. And so, like, that gets sort of illustrated in this because, Bruce and Guy go in to, like, interrogate the crew. And Guy starts laying in the crew, and Batman's like, "Nah, I got work to do," and leaves. And, like, goes off to do detective work. Well, Guy's like,
I gotta figure out why Mr. Freeze is stealing all the diamonds in Gotham City.
Right? No, not even that. It's just like he's gonna do investigate. He's gonna do detective work on the space station and actually try to figure it out with science. Whereas Guy's gonna play. Guy even makes the comment. He's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna have to play good cop and bad cop."
Guy's good at that, I think.
Actually, yes. So he goes through and interrogates everybody on the crew, and you learn little bits of information. And by the time he gets done with everybody, Batman comes back and he's like, "All right, I know who did it." So it's like, okay. And then they like immediately get attacked by the security system on the station with lasers. It's like craziness. Anyway,
Freaking lasers.
yeah, lasers.
Attached to sharks.
Lasers, those get taken out. Then the system tries to poison them with gas, which Guy sucks up in an awesome vacuum cleaner construct. Yeah. Let's see. Craziness ensues. Basically, they figure out that one of the scientists on the crew was trying to sabotage the whole deal. So he takes off with one of the rockets. So Guy chases after him while Batman's trying to stabilize the space station so it doesn't fall into the Earth's orbit and like crash to the Earth and kill thousands of people. So
not millions, but thousands.
Thousands of, maybe it was hundreds of thousands. I don't know.
Jeez.
It was a lot. Anyway, they saved the day.
I'd like to think so.
Well, yeah. Of which the best part is Batman got everybody off the space station, and then Guy creates a huge slingshot construct, and like the entire space station collapses into like the elastic part, and then launches out into space, which was kind of awesome. And Batman ends up punching the guy in the face in the end, which is kind of awesome.
All right.
What?
There you go.
Yeah.
Why does he punch him this time?
Well, not Guy, but he punches the bad guy.
The bad guy. I was like, God.
The villain. The villain.
I was like, wait a minute.
That would have been awesome. That would have been more awesome. But
that's how we're ending it. You punch to the face, one punch.
But yeah. So it was nice. It was like a little team up. It was like, yeah, I'm ready for the JLI now. Ready to see these characters together in the same thing, So, pretty cool stuff. But anyway, so there you go. And Swamp Thing happened.
Did they find him?
Yeah, I mean, I thought at the end, the way this, just to mention it real quick, because I went quick through the others, but it seemed like, that they were going to actually, like, kill Holland and put him into the Swamp Thing. And then, like, Constantine gets to the end, and he's just like, he asks Holland if he wants to die to be put into the Swamp Thing, and he goes, no. And he's like, oh, okay. I walks off. Like,
Okay.
all right. He's like, well, I couldn't really do that, so.
So this DC universe goes out with a whimper?
Yeah, really. It was just like ended with, what? Okay.
Okay.
Dead Man randomly showed up for like a half a second, and Batman
He said,
and Superman
hey, I'm
were
dead,
there.
man. But he disappeared.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Dead Man. You need to know this one thing. Peace out.
Peace
And
out.
left. So, yeah. I'm Dead Man, possibly of the CW, and I gotta go.
The new DC universe, I'll be called The Dead Man.
The Dead Man.
Yeah.
The Dead Man. So, anyway, there you go. There's my three.
Huh.
I will leave it to you, sir. Chris.
Alrighty, well, the first thing I want to talk about today then is something from Was this last week? I think this was last week. Might have even been the week before. I didn't talk about it at the time, and I'm talking about it now because it's good. Is Cloak and Dagger, Spider Island.
Yeah, I think that's 3 weeks ago because I got the first issue. Is only the first issue out?
It is, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I read that one.
Okay. Well, it says Spider Island on there, but that's a lie.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not really there.
I mean, yeah, they get in the middle of the fight from the first part of Spider Island, but that's all the connection there is to Spider Island. This miniseries is written by Nick Spencer of Morning Glories, about to start up on Ultimate X-Men, and currently doing Thunder Agents for DC, and just finished up his 3-issue one-shots on Secret Avengers. He's one of the hardest working men in comics right now. And with art by Emma Rios, who we here know mostly from the Osborn miniseries.
Ooh.
And yeah, I have no particular attachment to Cloak and Dagger. I literally bought this because of the strength of the creative team.
I kind of have a little bit of attachment to the characters. Not like a whole lot. I didn't buy it back in the day. It's like one of those things. It's like where they're these Marvel characters which are kind of weird, and they're just out there. And it's like it's neat to know that they're there, but I never. It's like I kind of like Cloak and Dagger when they guest star in books, but I never wanted to buy a book with them in it.
Yeah. That's a good way of summing it up. I mean, I don't not like them or anything, but I've never gone out of my way to read anything with them in it. But it's always nice to see them pop up. And they had weird prominence in Civil War, It's like after Mark Miller found a teleporter for one side, Cloak just kept popping up in capacities like that to teleport large groups of people everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is actually almost joked about in this issue a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
It kicks off with a straight-up origin recap of a Cloak and Dagger. They were teenage runaways who were taken in by a guy named Simon Marshall, on whom he tested a designer drug named Daylight, which awoke their powers. They'd been presented for some years as mutants, but it was later established that when they went and hung about with the X-Men for a while after the Utopia storyline, they weren't mutants and were politely asked to leave.
Oh.
That was in a one shot of some kind, which needed to just shoo them out of the way before Schism happened, basically. Well, they're having problems. They need somewhere to live. They're staying in a church, but the church is going to get knocked down, and they need somewhere to live. It's a strangely down to earth little story about Cloak and Dagger. I mean, as I say, I've not really read anything of Cloak and Dagger in the past, so I don't need. I mean, obviously, street level, runaways, drugs, that was their whole shtick back in the 80s. But the mundanity of looking for somewhere to live and eating waffles for breakfast is
I like waffles.
Disarms me.
Don't
and
pick on
Dagger,
waffles, man.
I'm not picking on waffles, but Cloak's in the church on a rope, looking at ads for places to stay, and the I don't know who the guy with the eviction notice comes and tells her, and they just have a very mundane. I don't want to play this card, but here it is. Me and my partner, we're Cloak and Dagger. We're like superheroes, and this is our secret headquarters.
That's awesome.
What do you got to say to that? Honey, you could be Reed Richards wearing an Iron Man suit and carrying around Captain America's shield. That ain't going to stop the D.O.B.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, then he gives her 10 minutes. She shuts the door in his face, and then Cloak materializes behind her with a plate of waffles and just goes, Eggo. Unfortunately, they are kicked out, and then the church is knocked down in front of them, and they contemplate where they're supposed to go and live. And well, they could be living in Avengers Tower, but Cloak just really doesn't want to get in on that right now. It's not. Cloak tells her he was busy doing something, and it says, "Busy doing what? Trying to find a roommate on Craigslist that doesn't mind their cat occasionally getting sucked into the Dark Force dimension." But she turns around, and he's actually made them heroes for hire. He's paid to have an advert of theirs broadcast up on the big billboard in Times Square. And they've received some funding for that from the Future Foundation. Basically, he's keeping a lot of stuff from her, and that's the center of the schism that is at the heart of this miniseries. Then, like Hawkeye, Iron Fist, Power Man, Firestar, the Avengers basically turn up and they say, "Yeah, we got to go fight some spider guys," and it's like, "Can you give us a lift over to the public library?" That is blocks away, Iron Fist. Yeah, and you can teleport. Everybody in.
Yeah.
Then they just have they participate in the fight scene from Spider Island. But then Dagger.
Didn't they say something like it's only like 5 blocks away or something? And he said,
Yeah.
Killed. Yeah.
My sound is obviously fucked because I did.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry.
I don't know what it is about my mic, but I always get drowned out if anyone else ever talks. I don't know what it is about the sound balance. Iron Fist says, "Can you give us a lift over to the public library?" That is 2 blocks away. Yeah, and you can teleport. So they fight briefly until Dagger spots the time, and then she runs off. And we don't know where she's going. And you get this lovely 2-page spread. I think we all remember the double-page spread in Osborne, where the alarm goes off, and like just across the page, everything loses coherency and starts swirling together. We've got a lovely look at this double-page spread here of dark and light. I don't even need to hold that up too close. Dagger narrates one side and Cloak narrates the other down the middle. It's like, what do you see? Do you see 2 faces, or do you see a vase, or do you see a towel? You know. Very nicely done. But it turns out that she's going to school. She's off to the, I don't know if she's the learning annex or the community college or whatever. That's what she's off doing. She's off actively bettering herself. And who's the villain of this piece, do you suppose? Well, we cut over to Chinatown, where some Chinese fortune teller is watching Dancing with the Stars. And,
Awesome.
Hey, turns out it's Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Negative.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Is our villain of this thing, and it's like, yeah, that makes a disturbing amount of sense. He's got the whole positive, negative, light, dark thing going. He deals in drugs. They have their origins in drugs. It's like, yeah, if you're gonna, I mean, Cloak and Dagger were originally introduced in Spectacular Spider-Man, and they've kind of floated on the fringe. Whenever they haven't had their own series, they've always kind of floated on the fringes of Spider-Man, like they're part of Maximum Carnage, stuff like that in the 90s.
Yeah.
They haven't really had anything to do with Spidey for a long time now, but certainly Spider Island is not an illogical way to reintroduce them. And the use of Mr. Negative, definitely, yeah. Mr. Negative makes...
the one moment for Cloak and Dagger that always sticks out in my mind didn't even happen in their comic or a miniseries anywhere. It was Infinity Gauntlet, when he absorbed Thanos into his cloak, and he couldn't contain him, and then he explodes.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it's like when all the heroes go to fight Thanos, and he's got the gauntlet, and nobody can stop him. And then you think that they got him because he absorbs him into the dark force or whatever it is inside of his cloak, and then Cloak just explodes, and Thanos is like there, and Cloak's like nothing. You know, that's like the. It's pretty sad that that's like the one thing I think of when I think of Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, fair enough. Well, anyway, Mr. Negative has fulfilled part of a deal he has with this fortune teller, which is rather indistinct, but it seems that he's gone and lopped a certain body part off of a certain man who may have violated a certain girl in the downstairs of this particular Chinese establishment in which he works. In return for a prophecy about when Mr. Negative will die. Mr. Negative wants to know when he is foretold to die so that he can stop it, you know. Now she is a cheeky, because she has real powers, she's tremendously cheeky and rude to him and gets away with it all. But I'll just tell you, the lad's 3 weeks old now at this point. I'll just tell you, you know, Mr. Negative says, "My last visit, you told me I was to die, and I was to die soon. You told me you saw the one that took my life. I have done as you asked. Now tell me who he is." And the Chinese, she says, what's her name? Swan Ming. She says, "He, haha, gangster, you got that part wrong." You'll pardon my completely racist accent, but that is the way that I was.
Oh,
That's exactly
awesome.
the way they talk, yeah.
And hey, seems like Dagger has been foretold to kill Mr. Negative. So this is top quality stuff. Honestly, it is. The Spider Island tag is perfunctory in the most generous description. It's the most generous word I can use. It's funny. It's gorgeous art. Great creative team was why I bought it. You know, but I'm happy not to have been let down by that. Lots of amusing, laugh out loud moments. Great blend of art and writing again with some great black and white negative Taoism mirror image work. And it really genuinely succeeds in telling the story from two sides. You know, this is not Dagger's book, this is not Cloak's book, this is not a story where one character is driving it forward and the other's being pulled along with them. This is a story about both of them pulling off in separate directions. The great conflict of Cloak and Dagger is that they have to be together. I don't know if it'll be touched upon in this, but basically, you know, Cloak's emptiness it gives him a hunger for light, and Dagger feeds him with her light. They're sort of trapped in this symbiotic relationship, and so it's fortunate that most of the time they get along. But whenever they want to go off and do their own things and they wind up being pulled in separate directions, it never leads to anything good. So I would presume, quite logically, that's the conflict that will creep in later, because we see their internal narration. Where is it? Hang on, it's
Now they were also like a couple at one point. They're not a couple anymore.
You know,
They're more like just kind of friends now.
I am
aren't they?
legitimately not sure. I am legitimately unsure. I don't know. But the 2-page spread like that, is like they narrate alternating captions. You know, I love her more than anything, but she's forgotten how important our responsibilities are. We're given these powers for a reason. I love him, I really, really do, but he needs to relax sometimes. You know, all she really needs is something extraordinary. And he says, all she really needs is something extraordinary. All I really want is something normal. You know, they are at complete odds with what one another actually want, and neither of them realizes, and that is going to pull them apart as the story goes on, which is always when the worst stuff happens with Cloak and Dagger. And I am really looking forward to more of this. Spider Island is the hit out of the park with every tie-in and every issue thus far. And yeah, there have only been like 4 so far, but that's 4 out of 4.
Cool.
Nice.
And then the other thing I'm going to talk about today is Ultimate Comics Ultimates. Ridiculous title aside, number 1. Here we go.
Now, who's writing this?
Jonathan Hickman.
Ooh.
That's why I'm reading it. Jonathan Hickman, with art by Esad Ribic. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. The guy that did Thor and Loki Blood Brothers.
Oh, that was good. Blood Brothers is awesome.
This is done in a lot less painterly style than that one was, but you can very much see that it's the same guy. Now, this is an illustration in hitting the fucking ground running. Transformers, please take note. Nick Fury comes into the office for a day at work. Well, there are, let me see, what is the method? We have 24 condition yellow situations happening around the world, 3 orange and 1 red. And then it's a splintered book across the 3 top scenarios that are threatening to tear the world apart as Fury tries to manage them all from his offices in New York. And, well, let's see, where are we? Asgard is hanging over the Earth these days, over Germany, I believe it is, yeah. So the EU has dispatched their super soldiers up there to sort things out after the Norse gods ransacked a brewery because they were thirsty. Hawkeye is in Bangkok, unrest in the Southeast Asian Republic, and Hawkeye's out there trying to keep things in control. And in South America, because these are all, apart from the Thor aspect, these are all real-world problems that Nick Fury is stuck dealing with. And the Condition Red situation is on Uruguay, where the Argentine fleet is approaching Montevideo, and the Security Council of the country has asked the Ultimates to step in to try and defuse the conflict. Now, Iron Man's supposed to be dealing with that, but he's in Tokyo drinking and womening it up. And there's okay, the first great, genuinely funny moment of it is whenever Jarvis comes up to him and says, "It's time we have to go." You know, says, 2 things, Jarvis. This year, I will be dating women who actually eat, and 2, don't be offensive, it's a charity event. Are my bags ready? And then Jarvis says, "Waiting in a car, Mr. Stark." And it's William. Excuse me? William, sir. My name is William. Tell me, Jarvis, what exactly did the headhunters say when they told you I was looking for a new body man? Well, they said that you were looking for a replacement for your long-term assistant, and that you were looking for a new Jarvis. Yes, well, that settles it, doesn't it? If I was looking for a William, I would have hired a William. Yes, I believe so, sir. Excellent. To car, my Jarvis.
Awesome.
Yeah. That legitimately excellent. And it doesn't matter that he's in Tokyo because now he's developed mental control of his Iron Man armor. So he pops on a little helmet and an Iron Man suit, bursts out of a plane flying over Uruguay.
Huh.
He's remote controlling his armors. One of the best scenes in the whole thing is the Excalibur is the EU super team, and Jamie Braddock is the new Captain Britain because Brian Braddock died during the last. I don't know when he died, but he died at some point anyway. But there's a problem with the video feed coming back from their costumes. There's no audio, so instead we get a 2-page spread of drunken gaudery. We get the super soldiers enter in silence. Odin drinking with a bear. I think the bear has something to do with the brewery. The brew is called Barenbrow, and Nick Fury makes reference to a bear that drinks, but I don't quite understand where the bear came from. But Odin doesn't seem very bothered about this fact, and neither does the bear.
Maybe he just wanted to draw a bear at the moment. The artist did. I feel like drawing a bear.
So Braddock, anyway, it's all completely silent. You see Braddock angrily points, makes a shout, and Thor is like, "Oh, calm down, brother, have a drink." Just puts a beer in his hand, and then in absolute silence, he pours the beer out, and then you just get that. Thor it's beautiful because it's the ultimate insult. Like, that's all it takes. Thor loses his rag and Nick Fury just swears. The only speech bubble on the entire double-page spread is Fury just covering his mouth and swearing because he knows what's gone wrong. But before the fight between the gods can even break out, things go to hell in Montevideo. Iron Man bursts into the control room of the lead ship that's opened fire, and turns out there's nobody in there. It's operating on remote control. Meanwhile, back in Asgard, Thor gets punched out of Asgard by Captain Britain. But then things take a funny turn when they turn around from where he lands in northern Germany, and they find this strange bubble-shaped unit. It's like a mushroom cloud. Now, something I've skipped over at the start of this issue for accelerated summary sense is something that's following up directly what we just saw in Ultimate Fallout. See, again, Transformers, okay, we had Ultimate Fallout to set up these plot points, and this issue goes with them. It doesn't restate them. It doesn't piss about. The mushroom-shaped facility is where Reed Richards has his Ultimate Future Foundation.
Oh, yeah. Remember that.
Hell with the dam. Because what I don't think we really touched upon at the time was that the Ultimate Future Foundation is basically Ultimate Fight Club. This is where the youngest, best, brightest, smartest have been flung into a completely isolated little world where they will fight until only the best are left alive. And this is what the European super soldiers and the Norse gods have accidentally been dropped into the middle of. Communications get cut off from Hawkeye. Apparently we can read his miniseries out next week, also written by Hickman, to find out what's going on there as everything goes to hell in where's he again? I can't even keep track of it myself. Bangkok. Meanwhile, back in Montevideo, Iron Man tears the control panel off the ship, and it turns out that there's bombs in them. And the bombs have Stark Industries labels on them. Then they explode. And of course, Iron Man, Tony's not really there, but he gets the feedback, and he's drooling in his car. And then the gods and the European super soldiers are pulled inside the thing, and everything's just gone wrong everywhere. And Captain America quit in the last issue of Ultimate Fallout, so he's not here to fix it. Black Widow and Spider-Woman are scrambling. The Hulk protocol's available. The White House is calling. What are you going to do? And the issue just ends with Nick Fury just looking down and going, I don't know. And that's where it starts. That's where the ultimate starts. That's the dictionary definition of hitting the ground running with a story that is called The Republic is Burning.
Wow.
So, like, is this going to end with, like, Cap's going to save everybody's ass? He's going to come back?
That's not impossible. Yeah, so, I mean, this really goes a long way to recapturing the widescreen action married with the witticism of Miller's and Hitch's Ultimates at its best, with some gorgeous artwork as well, and but with like the pacing cranked up to 11. You know, Miller is the master of the moment. As I always say about Mark Miller, he's great at producing real Hollywood gasp. Awesome moments of awesome, stringing them together, not so much. Hickman is the master of the high concept. You'll find sometimes in his stories you will find characters wandering around in search of a plot, or a plot searching for characters. This is probably more of the latter. In this case, it's a load of things happening that could potentially be happening to anybody. Nick Fury is very much at the center of everything, as should really be the case with an Ultimate storyline. But there's a wonderful art and great artistry as well, and the silent sequence is probably the best bit in the whole book, when the Jarvis thing is legitimately the funniest as well. Yeah, I'm not sad to be back reading the Ultimates again. I saw they were rebooting the Ultimate books. I thought, oh, well, I'll not bother. Hickman on the Ultimates? Oh, damn, wait, yes, I will.
Is it monthly? McFeely,
Yes.
is it monthly?
It's
Okay.
notionally monthly, but Jonathan Hickman is writing Fantastic Four, FF, this, and the Hawkeye miniseries. And he's doing the Red Wing for Image, and he's got a one-shot coming out in October from Image as well, so I guess it's notionally supposed to be monthly, but whether or not the poor bastard can keep to the schedule, we'll have to wait and see.
It's like monthly, and this issue comes out 6 months later. Issue 2 comes out.
Shield? Is he still doing Shield? Or
Yes, he's still doing Shield as well. I'd forgotten about Shield. Yes, that's still happening. So it's monthly in the sense that it's at least supposed to be. At least I still would certainly believe it will come out faster than Miller and Hitch's Ultimates did.
Has to.
And Hawkeye #1, also written by Hickman, out next week. So I will be getting that and probably talking about it. This issue was polybagged for some reason.
wow.
Huh.
Hmm.
I really wish that I cared about the Ultimates enough to buy. I mean, even Hickman doesn't make me care for those characters, so I'm not getting it.
I enjoyed Miller and Hitch's Ultimates, but Ultimates 3 was an atrocity before God and the Baby Jesus, and Ultimates was.
Yeah, like
So-
it was Ultimates 3 that killed it for me, because like I was on board for the first two, even though the second one was like a year behind or something to finish. But when the third one came out after reading the first issue, I was like, yeah, I'm done with these characters. I
Yep,
am done.
First issue for me too.
And I
was
haven't
done.
come back. I have not come back.
I give it another roll whenever it came back as Ultimate Avengers after Ultimatum. I gave Miller's first story a go. First two stories? Maybe even his first
I
two
think
stories.
I read the first issue that had the Red Skull in it, but I didn't care for it, so I just never picked up the next.
He never got them. He never found the magic again from the first two, and it was the whole relaunch is a tacit admission of the last attempt at relaunching at Ultimatum was a failure. You'll never see them actually admit it, but it's
We've
a
got
tacit.
we got like 4 Avengers books in the regular Marvel universe. It doesn't really feel like we need an Ultimates book anymore, honestly.
I can see that, all right. I can understand that position, but it's off to a great start. So,
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Awesome.
and that's me. And I'm just realizing we didn't actually pick anything for the top of the
No,
show.
we didn't.
But it's
Did we all
probably
read FF? Do we want to go through?
Well, you know what? We've already gone
Hey,
2.5 hours. Maybe we could just stop now.
Yeah, I think so. It's been a long show.
It's
Yeah.
been a long show. Not that I'm trying to call a halt to anything, but
No, I mean we all kind of read a lot of different stuff. Probably FF is the big link, but I mean I don't think
There
there's
was like too much goodness in Journey into Mystery. That's my fault.
yeah,
No, it's-
that's Kieran Gillen's fault.
yeah, and fault in the good sense. So, yeah. So anyway,
FF just basically was Reed Richards fighting himself.
I don't know. And
Reviewed.
I like. Have we seen that Nathaniel Richards fighting outfit? It's like very. Is
I
it just
think he
me or is
pulled
it?
whenever they went back in time with the teenage versions of them a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was when he traveled back to Reading College, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Mhm.
That's kind of awesome. So anyway, that's good stuff. So, I guess that's going to be our show. Again, all the cool information. You should check out the video. Whoa, McFeely's just gone. Just like,
Whoa, fine.
just
fine.
like gone.
Just-
Dropped
He's
out.
like, I've had enough. I'm done
That's
with you.
it. He's done.
He's like, I said my word, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.
So anyway, please check out the video version of the show. We just revamped that, so we got this nice, cool, new, balanced layout for the show. So it's not crazy askew with no interesting things in the background. It's kind of awesome. I like it. So
I like it a lot.
yeah, thank you.
think you
So
did a great
we hope
job.
you like it. If you like it, let us know. If there's things you don't like, let us know. And again, you can check it all out. Fanboyversus.com is the website. Fanboy VS is the Twitter feed. Again, you can see all of our Twitter feeds on the screen as well, so that's another good reason to check out the video version. Go to Comic News Eye to find all your comic news information, including upcoming titles, so you can see what's coming out that week before you head to the shop. Also, I encourage you to go to tfradio.net and check out RFC. There is a contest going on right now. Name your favorite Transformer. Do it pretty much anywhere. Email, Twitter, YouTube, somewhere on the website. I think there's a whole list of places you can list it. Just tell us your favorite Transformer.
Would I get stoned to death if I said Erector?
Yes. So, anyway, do that. That is going to enter you into a contest to win one of, I believe, 2 Razor mice. Yes. Now, it's not just any Razor mice. These are the Razor Transformers edition. So there's a silver Decepticon logo one and a yellow Autobot logo one. I believe they're supposed to be Megatron and Bumblebee themed, respectively.
So if I say Bumblebee's my favorite, can I win the mouse?
No, because
I
you're
probably
part
can't
of the...
participate.
Yeah,
We're not
unfortunately, staff and crew of tfradio.net cannot win. So anyway,
That's
they're
right.
really cool. Go check out the tfradio.net. Look for the contest. You can check that out and see what you can win. They are awesome mice, especially if you like gaming or if you do any kind of like, I mean, I have a Death Adder mouse myself, and love it. It's super fast.
He was showing them off on Radio Free Cybertron.
Yeah, so I mean, it's uber fast. They're great mice. These are 3600 DPI mice, so they are way fast and awesome. So anyway, yeah, check out the contest. Do that. What else? Anything else of excitement or interest?
That's about it.
Send me money.
Send
Oh, wow,
Nicole
yeah.
money.
Me first, though, because, but me first.
So send us money.
My idea.
Just random. You
I
know.
know, I totally said it first. You were just mentioning it.
Right.
I
So-
thought of it first.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we won't say no to money. You know, takes a little bit to run the show, but you know. So
No,
anyway,
go and get TMNT and tell me how you liked it.
yeah, check those out. You know, we always recommend you pick up the titles that we review here. Definitely support your local
why we
comic
do
shop
it.
so that things like what's happening in Nicole's shop doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Because
It's always sad when a comic shop closes.
yeah, pour a little bit out.
Well,
But anyway,
He's having a big party, so if you guys are in the Salt Lake Valley, you come on by and having a big party at his
going
last
away
days.
party. Aw. I will mention too for the one person maybe that listens out of the Oklahoma City market, and I know that some shops are doing this. There's a midnight release for the new 52 stuff. So coming up, what is
Cool.
it? The 31st. So it would be the night of the 30th, the AM of the 31st. Some shops are actually doing a midnight release for Flashpoint and Justice League. My shop is doing that, so I'll give a shout out to New World Comics. They are actually doing a 52 sale, quotation marks. 52 minutes, 52% off most things in the store. Now, restrictions apply, so you want to check with the store. But 52% off 52 minutes when you go in and pick up your Justice League and
I like
your
that.
Flashpoint.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah, it's a good deal. It's a really good deal. So, again, Oklahoma City, New World Comics, located on Northwest 63rd and Meridian in the shopping center right next
I wish
to
it was actually
Subway.
52% off of only number 52 issues. That would be great.
That would be...
Yeah, that'd be a big saving.
Yeah. So, awesome. So there you go. Crew, thanks so much. It's so nice to have everybody back. Yay. A couple of weeks since we've
Yay.
all been together, and I missed you all. So,
You missed me most.
yes.
You didn't miss me. I was here last.
Yeah, and Chris was here. Triplet was here
I
last
missed
week.
you. That was.
But,
Yeah.
no.
Well, happy to be back. Good week
So-
That's
too.
good.
Yeah, good week for stuff. So
You
anyway,
can feel the energy in the room.
I know, we're all like, we had like a little, we had one full week off, and then it was just Triplet and I last week, so we're all
We
kinda-
pulled
I
it
remember
off.
what you-
I don't know
I
how.
finally remember what you guys talked about a lot last week. You talked about a lot about Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, we went Yeah, we
Squirrel
talked.
Girl.
Yeah, I just wish that. Yeah.
Almost as awesome as Baxter Stockman.
Yeah.
Squirrel,
Here, GTFO.
speaking of Squirrel Girl, Dan Slott just retweeted an image from that Canada Expo of a Squirrel Girl cosplayer.
Really? Where is that?
It's,
Oh, I didn't see.
following him on Twitter, he just retweeted it. It's
I didn't-
somebody has an image of it.
Where did? Who? I missed it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just did it a minute
I
ago.
didn't see it.
Maybe it was 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's. I gotta see this before I
It
go.
says Agent M. He retweeted Agent M.
Oh,
This-
I follow Agent M. So.
It says photos Squirrel Girl cosplayer on stage at Marvel's Fan Expo Canada 2011 booth. And there's a link.
Where is Agent M?
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Find it, I find it.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There's Agent M.
That's a Squirrel Girl, all right.
This is the most exciting podcasting
Look.
moments ever.
Oh, look at her there.
How did I miss this? Where did it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Squirrel Girl cosplayer. It was right below day 9.
Yep.
Awesome. More love for Squirrel Girl.
Yay.
Yay.
Ah, stupid thing pull up. Is it anyway? I guess that's not very exciting for podcasting. So anyway, that's our show. TFRadio.net, fanboyversus.com. This was episode 68. Thanks so much for tuning in, and please tune in next time when it'll be Fanboy Versus.
The new.
This has been Fanboy Versus. Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. Like the podcast? Leave us feedback on iTunes. Copyright 2011 Radio Free Cybertron.